Sound check. Sound check. Yes, we are live, and we're live every single weekday, 12:30s. Today was the first day that we had to, unfortunately, go through a lot of technical difficulties, but we're here. Yeah, live. Good to see you, Barbie World. So, okay, we're good now. Nicole, thank you. Good to see you all. Shout out to everybody. James Turner on YouTube. Good to go. Wonderful. All right, so let's get some questions going. Good to see you, Ahmad, on YouTube, checking in. Um, for those who don't know, my name is Deshaun. I'm known as Deshaun, the Auto Advisor. I like to do these conversations to really show that, and I mean this humbly, y'all. I really do. There's not many people that are going to walk you through getting your car without talking to dealerships, without talking to salesmen. Everyone's trying to turn you into a negotiator. Not going to work. Not going to work. I'm telling you, as a car salesman, if we got any car salesmen on here, I'd like you to chime in. As a former car salesman, I'll tell you, anyone who's teaching you to negotiate with car salesmen, they're setting you up for failure. You cannot do it. You don't know where the bottom is. Let's start there. I can't negotiate on something if I don't know where the bottom is. I'm negotiating from a position of weakness, and that's not going to work. So what is it that we need to be doing? Making dealers bid. And if we are not making people bid, we're begging. If they're not bidding, we are begging. I want you to lock that in. Good to see you. Yep. Barbie World. Yep. Good to see you. Let's get some questions going. We got a lot of people. We're live on 4 platforms right now. Let's get some questions going so we can get to them one by one. This entire broadcast. Now, I want y'all to know something. There's not many people that put everything they know into a digital book. When you see this right here, see that right there? That digital book, Cars from Home. See that? That book right there will guide you to everything you want to know, to your outcomes you want. And it'll do it in about 90 minutes, 2 hours from home. You don't have to worry about being a negotiator. All my email scripts are in there. All of my templates that you fill out are in there. They're copy and paste. If you can use a computer, you're good. Now, this book is on sale for the next 2 hours. You can get it for $24. You won't pay the normal $97 price. Just go to Deshaun'sBook.com and get your 75% off for the next 2 hours. I'm going to put a link right here for everybody. This is where you want to start. If you want to start with something free, you can get my free checklist. It's in the bio. It's in the comment section. But this is where I place everything for those who are like, Deshaun, I hear you. You're going to be answering a lot of questions on here today. I am going to be answering a lot of questions. But if you don't want to remember it, go get the book, and you'll have it in your inbox by the time the show is over. And then you'll be able to use this for the rest of your life over and over and over again. Okay, so I put the link up here. It's Deshaun'sBook.com. For those of you who are on TikTok, it's in my stories. You won't even leave. It's in my bio link. Just click the picture of me. You won't leave. Click that link and go get your 75% off, and then come on back. My link was removed due to potentially unsafe content on Instagram. That's weird. We've been using that same Cars from Home toolkit link for 3 years. Unbelievable. But devil is a liar. Let me see if I can put it again. Okay, I see questions. I see you, sweet thing. I see you, Rain. We'll get to all of these questions. But I want to make sure you guys have where you can go to get toolkit. CarsFromHomeToolkit.com. All right. We'll pin that right there. Instagram is hating on you. Okay. Where do we start? You never talk about test driving cars and what to say to a dealership when you're just trying to find out what car you want. I've spoken about it. You might have not caught that video, but sure. So there's only 2 ways we're going to test drive. We're going to test drive a new car or a lease, and we're going to test drive a used car. It's 2 different processes. New cars and leases is simpler because we can go right in. We're popping in. You want to start to separate shopping from buying. Step 4 of our process separates the shopping. Most of the time, when you think of shopping for a car, you're actually combining buying it. That means you're like, okay, I'm deciding what I want, and next thing you know, you're taking it home. You want to completely separate the two processes. Shopping is deciding what I want. That's doing my research. That's making sure that the car is not a bad car. We do this all online. Takes us about 15 minutes, and then we go test drive it to make sure we like it. I am not a fan of not test driving cars because too many people DM me and say, Deshaun, I got a car 6 months ago. I don't like it. I need to get out of it. Well, you're already in the deepest depreciation phase of the car because you bought it. And until that depreciation phase cools off, which is about 5-6 years, you're going to be losing money in that car and you shouldn't get out of it. So once you get a car, you're basically trapped in it. And you're trapped in it until you get out of it. And if you've bought the car, then it's going to cost you to get out of it. There's no other way to say that. It costs money to get out of a car you just bought. You know who understands this better than anyone? People who pay cash. Unfortunately, because you've probably been trained on car payments, which means you don't see the overall cost. $400 a month, $500 a month. You say, I bought this car and I get out of it in 2 months or 6 months, and my payment only went from $500 a month to $575. So I think it was pretty good. Not seeing that you bought the car for $30,000. When you came back in 6 months, they only gave you $24,000 for it. So you lost $6,000, and then they rolled it into another car. So this is why it goes back to not buying cars without test driving them, not rushing your deciding what I want portion. And how do we do it for new cars? Pop in the dealership, 20 minutes. We call the dealership. We ask them for the salesman everybody loves. This is in my book, and it's in an ebook, so you can have it by the time this show is over in my bio or the comment section. And then we come in, we test drive, and we're out. We are never discussing numbers inside the dealership. It's some simple rules Deshaun teaches, y'all. If you just get these simple rules, then you'll know if you're using our stuff and you know if you're using someone else's stuff. Test driving is important, but with a used car, it's different. You cannot test drive a used car until you're about to buy it, because every used car is different. If you could have 100 different 2024 Honda Accords, and they're going to feel slightly different. They're going to have slightly different mileage, and they're going to have slightly different, visuals. So the key is with our pre-owned car process, we're finding our car online on the marketplaces, Car Gurus, Auto Trader, Cars.com, CarMax, Carvana. We're going on all the marketplaces, narrowing it down, and then when we find our top 3 to 5, we narrow it down. We go test drive the one first choice that we're interested in, and then we buy it. So if there might be within 200 miles, 75 different used cars that fit my criteria, I need to find the best price one. When I find the best price one, which is the one that has the biggest discount from the new price, we can talk more about that. The new price is really what matters with a used car. Because how do you know you're getting a good deal if you don't know what it costs brand new? And then we go test drive that car, and then we take it, and then we solidify the deal. So test driving is super important. It's a non-negotiable, but depending on whether you're shopping for a new car or lease or a used car, when you test drive is different. The time you're going to test drive is different. Okay? But absolutely it's necessary. All right. What is the best place to search all available options if I know my budget and the features I need and I want? All available options. So the first thing you want to do if you don't know which car you want is to put in your needs and try to find a car that fits your needs. So let's just say I know I need 2 rows, midsize, crossover. I'm going to start there, and then that's going to take me to some cars and you want to be able to budget. We have calculators that do this, but the reason why many of you are in trouble picking your car, or sometimes you pick a car that even with a great deal you can't afford, is because you don't have a budgeting system. And if I'm looking at a lease, for example, I know that a great lease is going to be 1.25% of the MSRP. So we have a calculator. It's a lease budget calculator where you put it in and it tells you with a great deal, can you afford this car? You shouldn't be looking at a $90,000 BMW and you want a $500 payment with no money down. That's extreme, but there are cases where people look at too much car. So I find that the reason we had to create these calculators for budgeting is because no one had them. If you see me look at a car, I'll tell you every $5,000 about $100 a month. Why haven't you heard that before? Because there's really no budgeting system. And that's where you need one, because if you don't have a budgeting system, they'll put you onto their budgeting system, which is to just ask you, when you're talking to a dealer, within a couple minutes of you looking at a car, what's one of the questions that the salesman's going to ask you? What's one of the questions that the salesman's going to ask you? And by the way, yo, we are live. We will be live 12:30 Eastern times weekdays. So set your alarms, set your clocks. Do not miss it. There's nothing like what we do here. I've been in this industry for 20 years, and now my focus is teaching and walking you through how to pay less than everyone. So make sure if you can't get your question in, we got a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. But if we don't get your question today, make sure you set your alarm. Meet us back tomorrow at 12:30. So let's see. What is the first question? How much you want to spend per month? Thank you, Lovey. Shout out to everybody locked in on TikTok. The best way to get the most out of these live shows that I do is to stay by your keyboard. Don't treat this like let's lock in, participate. You'll get much more out of what we're doing here than actually watching passively. So the reason why they're asking you how much you want to pay per month is because they're trying to help you budget, because you don't have a budget. So if you come in, use our perfect budget calculator, for example, it's right here in my ebook. You put in how much you want to pay a month. You put in how much down payment you can comfortably afford, even if it's zero. You put in any equity you have from your old car. You put in your state so it can calculate your taxes and fees, and it gives you multiple goals based on 5-year loan. This is how much you can spend on a car. 6-year loan, no money down. This is how much you can spend. 5-year loan with some money down. This is how much you can spend. And it's all underneath your budget, your max budget. If you don't have your budget, then someone else is going to create the budget for you. And many times they're going to create a budget that is based on your max. And then you'll end up going over it. How many times we go into the dealership, we don't want to spend more than 500, and we end up coming out at 575. You can't, if you employ these new ways, you won't do that. That's why we created a calculator that does this for you in 30 seconds. You don't have to be good at math. You just have to put in your budget into that calculator, and it's going to tell you how much you can spend. Okay, so that's where you would start out at. But even before that, Ankush, the first question is how many years are you keeping the car? There's still a bunch of people who don't understand they should not be buying cars if they're not keeping them 8 years. Lots of questions coming in. Let me try to answer them faster. By the way, everything that I teach is this entire process is coming out of my 7-step ebook. If you don't know, it's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And for the next 2 hours, it's 75% off. Everything in there to get you to a below market lease, below market purchase, and a below market used car is in there step by step. You can do it in 90 minutes to 2 hours from home. You don't need days, and you don't have to talk to car salesmen. It's all online. So go grab your copy. It's 75% off for the next 2 hours in my Instagram bio or in my TikTok bio. There's a link, and we have a comment for you in the YouTube comments and the Facebook comments. Go to Cars from Home Toolkit. So go get your book. That way you don't have to even remember what we're going to be talking about. All right, let's go. Next question. Let's go with this one from TikTok. Garcia. And I see we got a lot of questions on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to go round robin. So we'll get to you. My friend has a 780 score, and the put with credit acceptance and dealer raised the price from 5K because he was financing. That's why we separate our car purchase from our financing. So he just said his friend had a 780 score, but when he ended up buying the car, they raised the price $5,000 because he was financing, not paying cash. The whole point is, if you are talking to dealers online, not with your mouth, you're leaving too much to memory when you are dealing with your mouth. That's another reason why I don't teach that. I walk you through emailing. I walk you through getting stuff in writing. Everyone who's teaching you to negotiate with a car salesman, they're setting you up for failure because it's verbal. You don't have anything in writing, which means you can agree to something verbally, and when you show up to actually redeem it, it can be a surprise. And then it could be, hey, we never said that, or hey, well, this didn't include that. That's why you want to do your entire car deal online, where there's paper trails of emails that were sent with pricing, and you don't have to worry about them changing the deal on you when you show up to pick up the car. Who's had that happen before? You understand this is a car salesman tactic. The 80% do this. So how do you protect yourself from it? Well, stop listening to people who are teaching you to negotiate and start listening to people who are walking you through getting bids online, because the power is in the writing. Hey, Mr. Dealer, this is what you said in writing. So please send me the credit app. I'll do that. And then I'm not coming in to pick up my car until you call me back and say, hey, Deshaun, your credit app is approved. You're all good. When would you like to pick up your car? Then I'm coming in and I know there's no surprises. We have to solidify our deals from home online, and then do the credit apps. If we're not paying cash, we're doing all of this from home. You don't need to be there for any of this. In fact, when you are there, you're setting yourself up for trouble because you don't have anything to protect yourself. You have nothing in writing to protect yourself. That's the key. Very good info. Good to see you, Lisa Elliott. It's been a minute, but it's always a pleasure seeing you. I know you have been following the channel for maybe 3-4 years, if not more. So it's always a pleasure seeing you, Lisa. All right. Can't get it. What do you mean you can't get it? Let me know. All right, let's go to a question on YouTube. We're live on 4 platforms right now. All right. Mark A, or just have, we'll come back to that, Mark A. We'll come back to that. I think I may have a deal. I'm looking to get the ADX, and they claim 1,000 down, 500 a month. Is that great? See how we have no other offers? See, we seem to think that every car dealership is selling the car for the same price. That is what you need to unlearn. There is, if you have 10 different Acura dealers, they have 10 different prices. It's very important to not be deceived here. You are going in to one Acura dealer, going back and forth, and you may not know, dealers feel like they own you when they see your zip code, because NADA, National Association of Dealers, Auto Dealers, I believe, something like that, gives us the stats. When I was in the auto industry, they told us you're only live visibility restricted. Wait a minute. Hold on. When did TikTok start doing this? It says your live visibility is not eligible for restriction because it redirects users to purchase products outside of TikTok. This is in line with the For You feed eligibility standards, which are updating. You know what's amazing? We spent years building and putting out content to build audiences, and now they won't let us actually service you. So if I'm not selling something through the TikTok shop, which, how do I sell my ebook? How do I sell this book? Has 13,000 people who have it. Okay, it's all right. We'll figure a way, Lord. That's just interesting to me. Like, I've watched TikTok go from make a bunch of videos, get people to come over here, and then they're going to restrict. I do great business. Thank God, have a great reputation online. And here's the same book that I've been selling and promoting for the last 2 years, 5-star rated. You can go to goodreads.com, and they're restricting the live visibility because I'm not pushing a TikTok shop product. Crazy. Crazy. All right, where was I? Does the book contain more than the cheat sheet you offered years ago? Oh, absolutely. So the cheat sheet is nothing compared to the book. The cheat sheet is just to get you to see that this guy, Deshaun, knows what he's talking about. And there's a lot of mistakes you've been programmed to make. But the cheat sheets that was the purpose. Maybe it didn't do it as good as I would have liked. But the cheat sheets is very different than my 7-step book. The 7-step ebooks walks you through. Step 7 is delivery. So just to give you an idea, when you're going through the 7 steps of the cars from home process, step 7 is delivery. That means you're picking up your car. So there's nothing else. The cheat sheets is I go over leasing versus buying. I go over high mileage driving. I go over bad credit, power move. I go over basically tips, how to sell your car, get bids for it, but actually walking you through the 7 steps from where you are in the beginning to I'm picking up my car and I just paid less than everyone else. That's what my 7-step ebook is about. And that's what has been getting it done. Again, go to goodreads.com. You'll see it has tons of reviews and everyone loves it. Thank God. So I'm happy people are getting massive value out of a book. How much do you charge to call a dealership for me to lease? So MW Fitness, I don't call dealerships. I don't talk to salesmen. Anyone who's teaching you to do that is setting you up for failure. So what we do is we show you how to use my copy and paste email scripts to have conversations with lots of dealers very, very fast. And I show you how to bid out your old car so you're not trading it. And I show you how to bid out your loan if you need a loan so that you're not going to one credit union or one person and saying, hey, give me a loan. It's always a bid. And thank God in the age of the internet, creating a bid is very, very simple. When you use the first time you get a car using these steps, you're not going back. You'll be like somebody like Jeff. You know, Jeff is on his 5th car. I continually rave about Jeff because he has the record. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, you can see this is Jeff's 5th car, Honda Pilot 2026, $52,000 car, 623 down, 623 a month. Now, using the rule of 5,000, with every 5,000 being $100 a month, how much should this $52,000 car cost us? Forget taxes, forget fees. Using the rule of every $1,000, every 5,000 being about $100 per month, how much, if Jeff had purchased this vehicle, would this $52,000 vehicle had cost on a purchase? $52,000. Let's see if we got anybody who can do some math real quick. Let's go. Anybody got the answer? Let's go. 500? Nope. That's a problem. Just put 52,000 into the calculator, divide it by 5,000, multiply by 100. You got it, Mark. About $1,000, about 1,040, Marky. That's right. See how good job, Daricus. My man Daricus, good to see you. It's been a long time. Another person's been with us since maybe 4 years ago when we first started the Cars from Home process. So yes, so now we're looking at $1,000 so people who are going in to pick up this Honda Pilot, no money down, they're leaving out with $1,000 car payment, even if they got a good deal. You look at Jeff, he's paying $623 a month or $623 a month. That's a 1.19% lease deal, dividing the monthly payment into the MSRP. Huge discount. Now, if he didn't know that he wasn't a long-term person, he's not keeping cars 8 years, he may have purchased this vehicle. Not only is he going to buy it and lose when he goes to trade it because vehicles depreciate so rapidly, why do you think whenever you go to trade your car, you're never really happy with what it's worth, right? Who keeps their cars 3 to 5 years and then goes to trade them 3 to 6 years? You notice how you're never happy with what your car is worth? When you see the values, you're like, man, that's all my car's worth, because you're trading in a vehicle at a time where it wasn't supposed to be traded. Vehicles are not made to be bought and then traded in 3, 4, 5, 6 years. That's a short-term owner, in which case you should be leasing, saving way more money, as long as you know how to get good lease deals. Then you should be saving way more money, never tying up money in the car to begin with. And that's where you would end up with the deals that Jeff gets. But this is his fifth deal. Hasn't been in the dealership, just uses my copy and paste scripts, gets the dealers to bid, his fifth lease, taking it home. Shout out to Jeff. Great job. I just want you to get your first. If Jeff can do 5 deals from home, you can certainly do 1. All right. So let's go. Let's go to some more questions, because we got a lot of people on. Let me see if I can get through these even quicker. All right. And if you do see that you didn't get your question answered, just type it again, because, again, we're live on 4 platforms and we're getting a lot of questions coming from all of them. And we are live 12:30 Eastern time. Set your calendars. I've been looking forward to going live for a long time. Been trying to go live consistently again, but we had to get everything set up. So 12:30 Eastern time. Set your calendar. Set your clocks. We'll be here. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. All right. What else we got? This one's from Bird. For you to do the car shopping for a person, what would their credit score need to be? Unless they're paying cash, we need their credit score to be 670 or up, because we don't like to go back and forth with the dealers. And then when we go to submit our deal to the client for them to get approved, they can't get approved. There are cases where I walk you through, if a dealer says to you, you're not approved tier 1, in my book, in my ebook, I have what to do when that happens, because you need to go to the backup offers. You need to see, are they telling you the truth, or are they taking a shot at you? Sometimes you'll see, oh, Mr. Jones, you didn't get approved tier 1. How do we know they're not lying to you? And in which case, we need to have backup offers, and we need to have a specific script that we try them. That's where I think excel. It's the scripting. Because I've been a car salesman and I left the business, I'm able to write scripts between customers and car salesmen that are easy. When you're writing to a car salesman, you're writing from the customer's perspective, which means you're writing, as much as you don't know it, from a defense perspective. You're not writing from a casual conversation back and forth. And that defense, because you don't know what the dealers need, you don't know that they need your zip code for taxes, they need to know what vehicles are in the household to see if you qualify for rebates, military, ex-military, any rebates, any affiliations. You don't know what you need, and you're wondering, why is it so hard to shop online for my new car or my lease? This is separate from used cars, but the reason why it's so difficult is because you don't know what dealers need, and then you don't know what they don't need. So when they ask you for things like your credit, or you say, well, do they need this? Maybe they do. Yeah, they're telling me they need it. Should I do it? This is all wasting your time. So knowing when you open up my Cars from Home templates and you fill it out, and then you send it off to the dealers, you're going to see, wow, this is everything they need, and I don't have to wonder, because this was written by a car salesman. So everything I'm teaching is out of my new digital book. It's 5-star rated. You can go to goodreads.com and you can read some of the reviews people have written about it. It's scripts in there. It's links to videos in there. This is not a book that you read and learn. This is a book that you do. It's a checklist. Open this up, do this first, check it off. Do this second, check it off. And then when you get to step 7, you're picking up your car, you're setting up your delivery, and you're at the end of the checklist. That's how the book is set up. And it's a digital book, so you don't have to worry about reading it, and then websites go out of business, and now you need a whole nother book. If websites that we used to use went out of business, then that means you would need an entirely different book. And we don't want that. That's why it's a digital book. It's much better. We can update it easy. So go grab your copy. It's 75% off for the next 2 hours. It's in the comment section on YouTube and Facebook, or you can go to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, download your book. Nobody needs a book to buy a car. It's Ramirez. It's Ray Miz. Follow me. You buy cars regularly. If I put my car deals against your car deals, for you to think you're going to enter into a $30,000 to $100,000 transaction, and you are going to save all the money you were supposed to save, and you're going to wing that process, is ignorance. There's nothing else in this world that you would do that with. You wouldn't go start a $50,000 business with no counsel. You wouldn't go buy a $50,000 house, even if it was an inexpensive house. Even if it was a shack in the back roads of Wichita, Kansas, you would not go buy that shack without counsel, without a real estate agent, without an attorney, without a title company, without an inspector. But you're going to go in and wing a $50,000 transaction and think you're going to save all the money that I save or somebody who listens to me saves. That's ignorance. And it's unfortunate because I can't get with you and show you, hey, let me see your car deal. Send me your last car deal. But if I could have you send me your last car deal, look at what you got, what you paid for it, then I would quickly diagnose that your mindset of thinking you can handle this type of transaction with someone who is like me, but doesn't have the heart I have. Somebody who knows what I know, but cares much more about my mortgage or my rent or my family or the vacation I want to take than you coming out of pocket. And you're going to spend more than you think you're going to spend. And you're no match. So you can come in thinking all you want, because I won't be saying this to you. I will be saying it with a smile. Come on in, Mr. Customer. And then I'm withdrawing thousands of dollars out of your bank account because you thought you were prepared to do this. And you just could go back and forth with somebody who negotiates with cars every single day. They taught you that. So I'm not attacking you. They taught you you could do that. Who taught you you could do that? The auto industry. The auto industry taught you that you can go in and do battle with someone when you have no idea how much the item is that they're trying to sell. You have no idea how many people have that same exact item and would love to be competing. And they know you don't know that. You're just going to do what's comfortable, which is, let me come into the dealership and talk to this salesman about this car. So most people love that mindset that you have. But because of what I do and what I'm called to do, I'm going to call that mindset out as expensive. Not only is it erroneous, but it's costing you money. And I put money on it. All right, let's go. We got a couple more. We got a lot more questions. Jesus. All right. Good afternoon. This is Gerald on YouTube. I purchased the electronic book mid-year last year. Do I still have access to all the features to purchase later this year? Absolutely, you do. Yep. Go back to that welcome email or back to the email when I sent you the book, and you'll see that anytime I update my ebook, I update the master file. So as long as you keep that master file, every time you update, every time you open it, it's going to be the latest version of the book. Absolutely. Oh, thank you. So now back to what I was saying with NADA. So NADA tells us what we need to know as car salesmen. NADA tells us that you're only going to shop 2 dealers or less. We have inside information. So now you come in, you're giving us desperate energy, desperate vibes, and you think we're not hearing it, but we're hearing it. Every time you say something like, who said any of this? I need a car. If you've said that, type me in the comments. I need a car. I need a car today. I need a car soon. My lease is up. My lease is about to be up. Oh, whatever. I'm looking to buy a car today. Who said any of that? Type me in the comments. Dangerous. All of these things a car salesman will not tell you that it's dangerous, but we're racking up the information. And what you're telling us is desperate. Desperate. The reason why you should always be paying attention to what people are teaching online. Here should be your only question when it comes to car advice. Are you teaching me to negotiate with salesmen? In order for this advice to work, do I need to negotiate with car salesmen? 99.9% of them are going to say yes. They're going to tell you yes, but if you use what I'm telling you, it'll make it easier. But I have to negotiate. Throw the system out because you can't negotiate. If NADA has told car salesmen that we're only going to shop max one more competitor, then they know that. We know that about you. So the only thing you can do to actually flip us on, to take control of your car buying transaction is to not do what NADA said you're going to do. Be the difference. NADA isn't talking about people using the cars from home system. NADA isn't talking about the people who are doing their transactions online, making multiple dealers compete, seeing 10 offers, seeing multiple dealers 100 miles out who are taking off money. That's not what NADA is talking about. NADA is talking about the average car buyer who is going to get the average car deal. And the average car deal is not a great deal. We don't come from an industry where most people, even average people who don't know much, are getting great deals. That wouldn't even make sense, right? How could an average person with no skills, just winging it, feeling his way through the transaction, save thousands and thousands of dollars? It's not the way it works. Not in heavy financial transactions. So that is the difference. I want you to lock this into your mind. If they're not bidding, you are begging. If they're not bidding, you are begging. We got that? Type the lock emoji if you got that. See, because the reason why Jeff, his whole life has changed concerning cars. I'm not changing people's lives concerning much else. But cars, because the mindset from begging for $100 off to making dealers bid is life-changing for cars. Look, I can't help you with your marriage unless you're trying to get your wife or your spouse a car and you want to make sure, let's say you've been the person who you just keep making bad car deals, then yes, we can change your life. Because once you say, hey, I'm using this process this Deshaun created, this guy Deshaun has this 7-step process. We don't talk to dealers. We only email them, and everything is online, and we deal with managers, different process. I'm going to give it a try, and I'm going to check this off the list. Now you come to your wife or your spouse, and you say, hey, I did it. Now maybe they look at you different, because you've been making these bad car deals, and now you come and you show them all these bids that you got, and you show them all these dealers kicking down your door to hey, buy from us, hey, buy from us. Then maybe we change your life. But up until then, we're only here to change your life financially with a car. That's what I'm here for, to change your life financially. The reason why people like Jeff are on their 5th car, Milligan's on her 3rd car. I'm posting it right here. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can see them. And if you're in our Shop with Deshaun video course, I hate to call it a course because it's more of a video checklist, you can meet these people. See, I don't like the age of this AI stuff because you can't meet the people. You got these people saying, hey, look, I just used this. Can I meet them? No. These are the people you can actually meet. Milligan. She's in our Facebook group. She's on her 3rd deal. You can meet Val. Just got her electric car, 1.1% lease. You can meet Rosalie. She's on her 3rd car. 4th car. I'm sorry. She got 3 cars for her sons. You can meet all of these people, and they'll tell you it's a mindset shift. This isn't building rocket ships. You don't have to wonder if this is going to work. We're sending emails online, talking to multiple dealers very fast, and they're competing. What's not to work about that? You get what I'm saying? What's not to work about that? We're not trying to cure or invent something that cures something and we hope it works. Like, we have a system. The Cars from Home system shows you how to have conversations with lots of dealers. If you're shopping for a used car, it shows you how to go to all the marketplaces, walks you through setting up alerts, being alerted, so every single new used car that pops up, you know about it first, and you're gonna know the market So that as soon as you see that used car, if you see it's 22,000, you're gonna know that's a great deal. Let me check title, service records, accidents. Let me get the original price of it, and then I'm going to see that thing and I'm gonna test drive it and take it home. Simple, because confidence comes with knowing what to do. You can move quickly and confidently when you know what to do. When you know what to do. Randall got $7,000 off his vehicle. Did they bid though, or did you negotiate that? Randall, you got $7,000 off your vehicle. Did they bid, or did you negotiate that? Come on. Now listen, I like what you just said. While we're waiting for this answer from Randall on TikTok, I like what you just said. I'm tearing up your name, but I don't know how to pronounce. Is it Les Abley or Lisa Blee? Anyway, just says something. He's teaching you how to use supply and demand to your advantage. Supply and demand has been used against you. How many people have gone into a dealer and the dealer says, hey, I only got one of these. I only got two of these. If you've ever had a dealer say, hey, this is the only one like that. Well, here's the thing. If you could put on your special Cars from Home glasses, you would see that within 200 miles, there are 10 dealers that have the exact same car or something similar. And they're willing to sell it at a different price, every one of them. This is the mindset shift. They taught you that dealerships are like the Apple Store. You go into the Apple Store, you get an iPhone here in New Jersey, you go to the same Apple Store in Delaware, same price. You go to Florida, same price. Totally different with cars. They want you to think that's the way it is with cars. Just go to the dealership that's the closest. No, every dealership is in competition with the next dealership. If you have 15 Nissan dealers in your state and you're shopping for a Nissan, all 15 of those dealers have a different price they'd offer. And you never know because you're not talking to them. Because they don't even know you're interested. They don't even know you're open, you're shopping. They know nothing about you. Therefore, you have no idea what they would have offered you. Supply and demand is being used against you because you're in one dealership. But when you're talking to multiple dealerships from home online, I'm shopping out of 25 dealers' inventories. Mic drop. If this mic wasn't on a stand, it would need to be dropped. Whenever you go into a dealership, you're shopping out of one inventory. So if they don't have your color, we don't have it. But when you're home, making dealers compete, using the scripts, telling them what you want, getting offers, all 25 of those dealers' inventory is what you're shopping from. I don't care if y'all 10 don't have what I want, because the other 15 of you do. See the difference? You see how empowering what I'm talking about? Why can we have fun with the process? Until you can move to a process you're comfortable with, that saves you money, that keeps you in control, you can't get anywhere near to fun. You can't enjoy shopping, but we'll get you there. We'll get you there. But the first thing we want to do is change the mindset. You are too programmed to go right into the dealership, and that's not what you do with other things. Shout out to TikTok running the likes up. We're at 4,000 likes. Way to go. And thank you to everyone who shared this show with someone. If you share this show, I guarantee you, your people won't be mad at you. This is one of the shows where if you share this channel, people won't be mad at you. We are live weekdays, 12:30. Make sure you set your clocks. Meet us here just in case you can't get your questions answered today. What I missed? I missed a whole lot of questions. Come, just type them again. Type them again. Let's see Randall. While everybody's typing their questions, let's go to Randall's question, which is, Randall said he saved $7,000 off of his new car. Now, I asked, did he get bids or did he negotiate that $7,000? Why is this important? Because if you negotiated that $7,000, and you didn't get bids, we just got Winston $12,000 off his Sierra. Brand new Sierra. Now, had Winston not gotten bids, he might have thought 6,000 off was great. 8,000 off is great. What's to be mad at? I got $8,000 off. To be mad is to get 8,000 off when you could have got 12. And the only way we know what the best deal is through bids. Again, I'm going to say this again for those of you in the back. If they're not bidding, you're begging. If they're not bidding, you are begging. No other way, no two ways about it. No two ways about it. So you said both. What does both mean? You narrowed it down to 3 dealers, negotiated MSRP, then made them bid. Negotiated MSRP. You narrowed it down to 3 dealers. Okay, I'd go more. I mean, see, let me see. And see, I want you to see things from the car salesman standpoint. You got 3 bids. That's better than most. The reason why I like to get at least 5 offers is because I know that 80% of dealers are criminals. 80% of dealers or salesmen shouldn't be in the business. That's 2 out of every 10 are great. Great. And that means 20%. So I like to go to 25 so that we can get 5 offers. I just think that, and you, when you consider how quick this process is, it makes sense to do. Because I like guarantees. I can't put it no other way than that. Like this whole thing, like when I drove off in my Infinity, I got $8,000 off. I know it was the best because I had tons of Infinity dealers competing. When I got my used Infinity, I got a used Infinity. It was 2020. I got it 3 years old. I got 42% off the price. It was 3 years old, 26,000 miles, but I saw it within 150 miles. If you're not guaranteeing, I'm not in the business of doing a huge transaction, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 without a guarantee that I paid less than everybody. That's just not, I'm not okay with that. And I think the people who are not okay with that, they're attracted to me. I'm not in the business of, I think I did all right. I'm just not in that business. And so I can't have those conversations and make them, there's really no closure in those conversations. Maybe you got the best deal. Maybe you didn't. Maybe there was a dealer that would have went 10 grand off. I don't know. I do know that I've seen 8, 9, 10 grand off, 13 grand off. And I know that sometimes when we see 7,000 off, we think it's a big deal. But it's only a big deal if it's the best bid. If it's not the best bid, then $7,000 off is just another number. To Winston, whatever dealer offered $7,000 didn't win the business. We didn't even pay attention to it because once we saw this dealer was over 12,000 off, that was the conversation that we went forward with. So again, I'm in the business of guarantees. This transaction's too big. If I'm out here, it would bother me knowing I'm even paying $25 a month more than everyone else or the average person for a car. Does that bother you? Then you'll love it. You'll love what we do. The Cars from Home process, you'll love it. The people who value certainty, not this wondering and hoping, that's disempowerment to me. And again, I'm not trying to offend anyone. That's not my intention. My intention is to change the way you shop for cars. And in order to do that, you have to see that how you've been buying cars and what you've accepted is not acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable. I mean that. This is $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 of your hard-earned money, and you're leaving without even being able to guarantee that the person who earned your business beat everyone else. You're just going locally for convenience. You're going 20 minutes down the road. You're calling the dealer your dealer. You don't own it. It's not your dealer. They make money on you. They make money for your bad decisions. Anything that is yours is not predicated on benefiting from your errors. Like anything that you own, your bank, your dealership, these are not yours. Your credit union. These people make money based on your ignorance. They make money based on your financial mistakes. So that's the reason why I'm so passionate concerning what we do here and giving you this 7-step process so that you are empowered with your car transactions. And if you start moving empowered through just one transaction, it will be so addicting you won't go back to this old way of begging one dealer to take off some money. And then when he tells you he took off some money, you think that had to be the best deal. These two, good to see you on YouTube. Does that bidding apply to BMW orders that have the build pricing online, which use that as their starting point and then offer discounts like law enforcement or college? And there's no guarantee there's a law enforcement or college, but there may be a military, there may be a rebate for loyalty or rebate for conquest. If you have a competitor's car, all of this is in the template inside my digital book, Cars from Home. So if you get my book, what you're going to see, and you won't pay $97, you get it for the $24 special for the next 2 hours, you'll see that there's a template that you want to give to dealers to see whatever it is that's applicable, give it to me. If you don't go in and give the dealers what they need to know to see what you qualify for, then they're going to eventually stop talking to you because they don't have enough information to make you an offer. When you apply online, send an inquiry online, dealers look to see, can I get this person what they need and sell them a car? 99% of you, they're going to say, it's incomplete. I don't have the zip code. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. And then you have some criminals who tell you, well, we need your credit. No, we just need to assume tier 1 so that we can quote you. But they'll tell you, hey, we need a credit report. So all of this confusion is what slows this online shopping process down to a stall. And if you're ordering a BMW or if you're whatever it may be, the reason why the bids is necessary is because every dealer in the region has the exact same programs. If it's a Northeast Jeep dealer, they all have the same stuff. If it's a Southeast Mazda dealer, Southeast region of the United States, all the same programs, which means it's a level playing field for them to compete. So when you reach out to them, it's not this dealer says he has a military rebate and this one doesn't. Nope. They all have the same thing. Means there's no incentive to have one conversation with anyone. Being that you all have the same programs, there's no incentive to me talking to one of you. I'm going to stay at home, not talk to any of you, and I'm going to email you using Deshaun scripts because that's going to keep the conversation moving forward on my agenda. It's not as simple as here's what I want and give me an offer on it. No, you also have to have the scripts on what to say when the car salespeople say what they're programmed to say, which is, when can you come in? Or, hey, can I have your phone number? Let's talk about this. Or, hey, we only give offers to people who come in. What are you saying to all this? Is this slowing you down? When it comes to us, we go right in to our Cars from Home scripts, we copy and paste, and we keep the conversation moving forward on our agenda. All of those scripts and templates are in there. That's why I can't just give them to you here on the show. Because when you get to that portion, I can give you, if I go into this book, there's a portion in time where I'm going to click on something and it's going to have 20, let's see, how many scripts? It's going to have a ton of scripts. I can't give these all to you up front because they're for when you get there. That's what they're for. The scripts are for when you get to that particular section, you're going to open up those scripts. We have scripts to send before you request a quote. We have scripts to send after you request a quote. But here's the beauty. You're not talking. You're not talking. Anyone who's teaching you to talk is setting you up for failure. For all of you who want the digital book, it's in my bio, in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. I'll put it right here. You can go to deshaunsbook.com and you can download your copy. And you don't have to remember anything that I'm talking about on these shows. As long as you have access to my system, the Cars from Home system, you don't have to remember a thing. So let's put it up here for you, and then we'll answer some more questions. Okay? Go to deshaunsbook.com, or you can go to Cars from Home Toolkit. It's in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio. You get 75% off for the next 2 hours. All right, let's go. Randall said he got 15 total offers and narrowed it down to the best deals and made them bid. Way to go. Way to go, Randall. Now, how did you do this? You did this on your own? What process were you doing to actually have conversations with 15 dealers? Yes, Churchill. Right in my TikTok bio. Click that picture of me. If you click that picture of me and then you go to the website link, Cars from Home Toolkit, open it up, and then just get the, you'll see the 2-hour special on my digital book. All right, Randall, come back in and let us know. Let's go. How do they know they are in a bid? Do we tell them? It's all in my scripts. We're talking to multiple dealers. See, the whole thing is, in even those terms, we don't want to use publicly. You don't want to talk to the dealers, and you don't want to email the dealers and be like, hey, I'm making dealers bid. That's why the system is special. That's why the system is special, because you can't go to the dealers and say, hey, I'm doing my whole car deal online. They'll just stop talking to you. They just stop talking to you. And I'm working on a class. God willing, I can get this class. I'm doing this 90-minute car deal class, and I like to do it Thursday, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it Thursday. I don't know if I'll have everything set up, but latest will be Sunday, because it's taking y'all too much. It's taking y'all too long to get your car deals done, and y'all are making bad deals. Y'all are making bad deals. And if you can take the bad news, then you can get to the good news. I don't have much good news for you. I'm not meeting you to tell you you're doing really great on your car deals. I'm usually meeting you to tell you that you're playing into the hands of car salesmen. But you need to hear that. You know, when you understand that you overpaid by $3,000 to $5,000 on your car, that will stop you from doing stupid things, or let's call it ignorant things. Ignorance just means you're ignorant. You don't understand. You went into a transaction you didn't understand. So those of you, I like the people who say, man, I wish I would have saw you, Deshaun, before I got my last car. Because those are usually the people who are going to make sure that they don't do another bad transaction that cost them $3, $4, $5 or more over what they could have spent. But that's where we got to get to. We got to get to a place where you see, man, I'm making a lot of mistakes. Most of the stuff that Deshaun talks about on this show, I'm not doing it. That means my whole process is wrong. And when I say wrong, it benefits dealers. If you were to talk to a car salesman and say, hey, this is how I shop for a car, what do you think? They tell you, yeah, it's a good process. That's how I do it. That should tell you something. If a car salesman would tell you, yeah, man, it's a good process, just that should tell you something. The car salesman that you've been dealing with, they have no control over you when you won't come in. Two biggest fears that car salesmen have, including someone like me who is equipped for almost any situation: a customer who won't come into the dealer and a customer who makes us compete. When you're competing, it's not about anything other than price and do we have any specials. So if I got services, if we do free service at my dealership, or if we do free loaner cars, or if we have, we come pick up your car when you need service. This is my opportunity to work that in with my offer. Hey, just so you know, we here at such and such ABC dealers, in addition to this price, we give you, 2 years worth of oil changes. We give you this, we give you that. I can work that into my offer to see if that wins the business, even if my offer is not the best. But when I'm competing, all I have to stand on is my offer around one of the best. If I'm trying to overcharge this customer by $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, I'm out of the runnings, and this customer has moved on and got a car from someone else, one of my competitors, and I never even had a chance to slow them down. But when you walk into the dealership, they can slow you down because they know, again, NADA tells us you're not going to shop more than 2 dealers. That's the inside information that we have on you. So you got to flip the script. If you're going to be empowered, you have to flip the script. Can you post that link here? I'll put it in the chat one more time. Helping free resources in the Cars from Home Toolkit. And please repost your question if I didn't get to it. Again, we will be live Monday through Friday at 12:30. We'll go for about 90 minutes. Monday through Fridays at 12:30. We'll be replaying the show throughout the week. So if you couldn't make the show, we will replay the broadcast. So there's helping free resources at the in the Cars from Home Toolkit. All right, hang on one second. All right. Elite Bullies, Carolina, do you think I could get a really good deal on anything? Yes. I don't have to read the rest of the question, but let's read it. A really good deal buying a new car that was never sold. That's been on the lot for 90 days to a year if I'm buying for the long term. I don't really care how long the car's been there. I'm putting it out there and I'm going to get the bid. If I send this out to 25 dealerships, this is what I'm looking for. You see, as much as you think that's not desperate, just the fact that this car has been on my lot for 90 days, it gives me desperate vibes. Why are you watching this car? I know you want it. It's been here for 90 days, but it's catching your eyes. See, there's so much stuff you tell us as car salesmen that you have no idea hurt you. That's why I don't talk. That's why Cars from Home people don't talk, because almost everything you're saying is helping us to make a decision against you. Almost everything you are saying is helping us to make a decision against you. See, you think you're coming and saying, hey, Mr. Dealership, I know you've been sitting on that car for 90 days. I know y'all want to move that thing, but it's unemotional for us because this is a bank. We've floor planned the car. We pay a little interest on it. But for you, it's an emotional experience because you're watching that car. When the car gets sold and you don't see it anymore, it's going to hurt you a little bit. Oh, man, that car was there for 90 days. Now it's sold. See, so you're giving desperate energy. And in the key in the negotiation is don't give away desperate energy. And also, the person who can't walk away loses. It's like poker. I don't want to give you one sign that I want this car or I need this car or I can't say no. But when I've got in my car, drove all the way to your dealership, and then I'm looking at this car and I'm like, hey, I know this thing's been on your website for 90 days. Okay, you're the buyer. Maybe because I know you want it. So when you start moving in silence, you will save thousands and thousands of dollars. You're doing too much talking. We don't do any talking unless we're talking to a manager. So you're in these positions and you just think, I'm just fumbling and humbling my way through my car deal, not realizing that the reason why you overpay is because of the words that come out of your mouth that you think are innocent. They're not. Car salesmen are very good listeners, even if it seems like this salesman is talking a lot, most car salesmen are listening more than they're talking because they want to hear anything that they can use to sell you a car. Thank you. I appreciate the gifts. So why did we create a process that is no talking? Because you can't mess it up. See, if the Cars from Home process, which is right here in my digital book, it's a digital book, so you can have it in literally minutes. It'll be in your inbox. You can use it for the rest of your life. It's 5 different strategies in here: new cars, used cars, leases, bad credit, high mileage drivers, all in here step by step. So as you go through this, what you're going to see is it's set up in a way where you're not talking. Why do we need to talk our way through a transaction in 2026? You don't have to talk to buy a TV, right? We don't have to talk our way through a transaction. We need to communicate our way through the transaction, though. That's the difference. And when you're using these email scripts and when you're going on these websites and you know what to click and what to do, there's no opportunity for you to mess up. But if I had 15,000 people out there and I was trying to teach you all scripts, if I was trying to teach y'all, let me teach y'all exactly what to say when you go into a car dealership. Oh, that's going to fail like crazy. That'll fail like crazy. Y'all, you won't get out the starting gate before you're messing up. That's the difference. And I want you to hold everybody online to that standard. Whenever you hear somebody talking about cars, ask them, are you trying to, do I have to negotiate with car salesmen to do this? If they say yes, just put them in a category. I'm not saying don't listen to them. I don't. But if every time you hear somebody say, hey, let me show you how to buy a car. Hey, let me show you how to lease a car. Here's the question. Do I need to negotiate with a car salesman for this to work? If you ask them that question, we can get a lot of people out of the way. I want y'all to help me get a lot of people out of the way. Because any car salesman who's teaching you to negotiate with car salesmen knows you can't do it. They know that you can't do it. But they've been trying to package 2005 stuff, same scripts. If you were able to find a Kelley Blue Book article from 2005, you can actually find similar advice to what people are teaching now on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook in 2026. You will literally find them saying, don't tell them you have a trade-in. Don't tell them what you want to pay a month. I was hearing this stuff in 2006. So what I want you to, the standard I want you to have, and I see you with Thomas Ali. I want to answer that question you have on Instagram here, because we're live 12:30 Eastern time. Set your calendars. If you are shopping for a car in the next 6 months, do not miss a show until you get your car. Once you get your car, you don't need to come back to the shows. You don't need to engage with Deshaun, the auto advisor. But if you don't lock in, you are not going to pay less than everyone else. Paying less than everyone else is reserved for the people that lock in. It's reserved for the people that lock in. Okay, let's get to this question. W. Thomas Ali, my lease is about to be up. Also considering just getting a loan and buying out the lease. One of the worst things that you could do is to buy your lease out. One of the worst possible things you can do is to buy your lease out. Here's why. You've already driven it for 3 years, and now you're about to take out a loan for the difference. Most likely, you're going to take out a 5-year loan and potentially a 6-year loan to be able to afford the payment on the buyout. That's 9 years. Many times, buying your lease out is only because you don't want to shop. You don't want to go to the dealership and you're like, hey, I'd rather just buy this car out. That's going to be potentially a $5,000 plus mistake because one, your lease is not usually made to buy. If let's just say my lease is up and I can buy that car for $30,000, just making up a number. The question is, can I get a car like that with lower miles or newer for the same price? So let's say my car is 3 years old. I'm about to buy it out for $30,000. But what if I can get a car with similar miles, similar age for $27,000? So what I saw years ago is people weren't doing market reports before they bought their leases out, and they ended up overpaying for their lease buyout. Here's another horrible reason people buy their lease. They go over in mileage. So I want you to picture if a lease buyout is $18,000, 18,000. That's what a lease buyout is. From the time you lease your car, the lease buyout is set. That price doesn't change. 18,000. Now, they have an expected mileage that this car should have after 3 years based on what you agreed to. Let's say it's 36,000 miles. That's average, 12,000 miles per year. You can adjust it up or down. You can go up to 25,000 miles a year. You can go down to some leases are 7,500 miles a year. But let's just say for this sake, you have a average 36,000 mile over 3 years lease. 18,000 is the price. They expect 36,000 when you come back. First thing we need to do is $18,000 for a car with 36,000 miles even a good price? That's when we would go to the marketplaces, look at the used car inventory and see, wait, I don't see any cars with this mileage for that price. That means it's a good price. But maybe I see a couple cars that have 25,000 miles for 18,000, 20,000 miles, 15,000 miles for 18,000. Do you see how that quickly tells me that my 18,000 for 36,000 miles is not a good price? Do we see how that quickly lets us know that the $18,000 lease buyout price for 36,000 miles is not a good price? Before we ever make a decision to buy our lease out, we need to see, can I buy a better car for the same price or less? And many times people go over their mileage, so they go to 50,000 miles that they drive, 50,000. And what they do is they say, well, I went over miles, so I'll just buy the car for the same 18,000. Now let's go back to what we've been talking about over the last 2 minutes. We can see that 18,000 may have not been a good price for 36,000 miles. So if it wasn't a good price for 36,000 miles, it's certainly a horrible price for 50,000 miles. And this is how people end up overpaying when they buy their lease out, whether they're over miles or they end up taking a loan out for 5 or 6 years on a vehicle they leased already for 3, and they end up paying 8 or 9 years for the same exact vehicle. Horrible financial decision, usually based in not wanting to just shop for a new lease because they don't like the process, and it's a bad decision. Only time you should be buying your lease out is if you're keeping the car another 8 years minimum. Another 8 minimum. Then you can pay for 8 or 9 years because you're keeping it 11, and that's still bad. Help and free resources in my stories, in my bio, or in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook. There's tons of free resources that I've made available. But you can also get my 7-step book, which is sponsoring this live stream. It's a digital book, so you don't have to wait. You can have it in your inbox in minutes, and you don't have to remember anything I'm talking about because it's all in here step by step. Go to carsfromhome.com, Cars From Home Toolkit, or go to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. I have a 75% off special, so you won't pay $97 to get it. If you get there within the 2 hours, you get it for $24. And you can use this for the rest of your life. Let's talk about who used it. And I love that she wrote me this email. I continually talk about her, which is Marie, because this is the biggest. I want to say this is one of the biggest discounts we've seen people get from using the book. She got $13,000 off using the guide. I saved over $13,000 off my Mercedes, got my payments to be hundreds lower per month and maintenance included with no money down. Everything we shop for, new car, used cars, leases, always no money down. Just wanted to say thank you. She got her GLC coupe. You go get your copy so you have everything you need to pay less than everyone else for the rest of your life. All right, let's go. More questions. All right, D Fawcett on TikTok. Good to see you. We're live, by the way. Set your alarms. I'm happy to be back live. I love seeing all of you on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Lots more questions. I'm actually going to hang out a little longer than I planned because there's a lot of questions that I haven't gotten to yet. This is but we will be here Monday through Friday, 12:30. Make sure until you get your car, when you run into somebody, coworker, you run into anybody and they say, hey, I'm getting a car soon. Hey, Deshaun Auto Advisor show is weekdays at 12:30 on all his social media channels. Bring your questions so we can make sure you're paying less than everyone else is paying. Can't you trade it in before your lease is up if you go over mileage? This is a great question. D Fawcett, I see you. Here we go. All right, so we're on TikTok. This is a question from TikTok right now. Hang on. All right, let me get my angles right. All right. All right, so D Fawcett on TikTok said, can't you trade in your lease before it's up so that you don't go over miles? This is a bad decision, though. Yes, you can, but you want to do this right. Let's say I'm in a lease and I'm pacing to go over miles. You're not over mileage until the end. Remember that. So you might be pacing to go over mileage, but you're not over until the end. So let's say I'm going to go over by 2,000 miles. Most leases have about a 20-cent or 25-cent penalty. So let's say 25 cents, that's $500. $500, I'm not worried about dealing with. $500, if I get a great 1%, 1.1%, 1.2% lease on my new car, I can roll $500 into that. I can have them cut a check to my old leasing company to cover the actual $500 mileage bill. But where it gets shaky, which is what most people do, is they're pacing to go over and they get a letter from the dealership or an email, we can get you out of your lease early. It's a lie because they don't disclose the penalties. You have 5 payments left. How much are your payments? $500. So you have $500 and you have 5 payments left. How much is that? $2,500 in payments that you have. What do they do with the $2,500 in payments, ladies and gentlemen? One of you know. One of you know. Let's go. Type. Y'all know with these shows, I like you to be by your keyboard. It's much better when you're typing fast. So when I ask you a question, there's dialogue. Really quickly, what do they do with the $2,500 in payments that you have on your lease remaining? When you leave the dealership in that brand new car and you got out of your lease 5 months early, where do the $2,500 in payments go? Thank you, Tonia. Thank you, BC58. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Papa Pickle. It goes into your new car. Attach it to the new vehicle, Ellen Stone. You got it. Shout out to the people that are locked in. I love the people that are locked in. They roll it over, Louis Jr. Thank you on Instagram. So, yes, you can get out of your lease early in the instance that you're going over your mileage, but it doesn't come without penalty. So that's why when we are going over our mileage, the first thing we're going to do is do an equity assessment. That's step 2 in my book. What is the equity assessment? How much do I owe on my current lease or finance or car that I own? And how much can I sell it for to a cash buyer? Because if I can sell my way out of the lease or if I can sell my way out of the car, I can put the equity in my pocket or I can avoid the penalty. That's the first thing. And then the second thing we're going to do is compare, should I get out of the lease early, pay the mileage penalty and the payment penalty, or should I drive and go the distance until the end and just pay the mileage penalty at the end? In which case I broke down how the payment penalty will be more than the mileage penalty. These are the things that when you have 30, 50, $100 a month overpaying, this is what happens. It's not one major decision you made that's costing you money. It's the fact that you didn't bid out your old car, you traded it, you left $1,500 on the table there. That's about $35, $40 a month. Then you didn't bid out your interest rate. You just took whatever the dealership gave you and you paid 1.5 points above what you could have gotten. That's going to be roughly another $2,000 depending on the loan. Let's call that another $20, $30 a month. Then you didn't get bids, so you didn't know that there was a dealership that would have sold this same car to you that you drove off in. You leased it or you purchased it, but it was a dealer 45 minutes away that would have took off another $3,000, but you didn't talk to them. You didn't email them. They didn't even know you were shopping for this car they had, and you left another $60 a month on the table there. It's not that you're to be paying over $100 more than someone who's using the Cars from Home system. It's not a $100 per month mistake. It's a $20 per month mistake combined with a $30 per month mistake combined with a $50 per month mistake. Now you're $100 over what you could have been paying. If you are tired of making these mistakes, go grab your copy of Cars from Home, 7 Steps. It's a digital book. You can get it for 75% off for the next 2 hours. That's our welcome special. You can get it in my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. It's in the Cars from Home toolkit, and it's an instant download. Everything in here is to get you to below market leases, new cars, used cars. If you have bad credit, it's specific strategies in there for those with bad credit. Specific strategies in there for those who drive high mileage. And it's only $24. Normally $97. And it's worth every penny of $97. But $24 is better than $97. So go grab your copy. Let's get to it. Bill, you already got the book. Wonderful. So go into your email and find your emails from me and find that master copy I sent you with that link along with the bank bidding war document. And that's going to be the email you always want to save because that's how you retrieve your book forever. Okay, let's go. Some more questions. All right, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I have your book. All right, good to see a lot of people on the show today have the book. Bought it a year and a half ago. I'm not confident in my lease end options. My lease will be up. I'm well under my 30,000 miles to know the best way to proceed. Equity assessment. Equity assessment. Do your equity assessment. Focus on one step. The reason why the 7-step system is rigid, you can't mix these steps up, do what you want to do. Well, I know Deshaun says that I should do my equity assessment in the beginning, but I'll wait until I get to the dealership to do it, or I'll wait till I find the car. All of these are set up in an order. And being that I'm an ex-car salesman, I can set up an order that works because I know the entire process and I know where the mistakes are made. People tend to have you hold on. Let's talk about you, oh man, there's so much bad advice. Here's one of the worst. This is some of the worst car buying advice that's out there. Don't tell them you have a trade in. Who heard that? When you're talking to car salesmen, one, never tell them you have a trade in. Who's heard that? Type me in the comments. The reason why that's horrible is because what it's telling you to do is do your entire car transaction, do all your negotiating. They're probably going to have you talking to dealers, which is time consuming, visiting dealerships, go back and forth, and then tell them you have a trade in later and spring it on them. But wait a minute. Why does that? Let's go back to the desperate energy. Whenever a customer would spend minutes or hours in the dealership, they've already told us they want this car. They're already somewhat emotionally attached to this car. So if all of a sudden, when we've already come to an agreement on the price, and here comes this new info, hey, I have a trade-in. So you're now telling me you're willing to walk away from all the time we put into this deal over the trade-in? Most times you're not, because you're invested. You've been there, you've saw the car, you've test driven it, you've gone back and forth. This is why these people who teach you to negotiate, you need to know that. Are you teaching me to negotiate with car salesmen? If so, okay, I just need to put you into this category, because Deshaun is teaching us how to have car salesmen negotiate against each other for our business. I don't have to be a great negotiator. I could be the worst negotiator in the world and with Deshaun's Cars from Home system, because I don't have to talk. I'm going to save all the money I need to save. So when we have people teaching to talk and they say, well, at the end, spring your trade in on them. You didn't do anything to help yourself. You actually hurt yourself, because now I'm going to hold back a little money. If I'm a car salesman who is about my money, which 80% are about money over you. So you could be about money as long as your customer wins, as long as it's like, hey, it has to be mutually beneficial. But if my paycheck is much more important than you getting a good deal, then I'm going to make decisions based on me. And when you spring your trade in on me after 2 hours of being with you, now what I'm going to do is hold back a little money on the trade in, because I need to create some type of cushion. So if your trade in would have been worth 18, maybe the salesman presents 15,700. Wait, what? No way. No way I'm taking that. I want 18. Car's not worth that, sir. Listen, you're going to have to talk to the manager. I need 18 for this. What are you going to do if you don't get it? You just wasted a bunch of time. You put your back against the wall. You put yourself in a position where now car salesman knows you're desperate because you got time in and you need to get this. No problem. We'll play around with this thing. It's not good advice. In what world does waiting until the very end and then springing your trade in actually help you? You know the reason why they told you to do that? And they just told you to do it wrong. What was the outcome that they needed? They needed you to separate the price you're buying the new car for from the price they're giving you for your old car. That's why they tell you don't tell them you have a trade until the end. But it's horrible advice in practicality. What's much more practical is do your equity assessment, which is step 2 in our book. We show you how to get bids online. In 20 minutes, you have all these people that want to compete to buy your car. See how that is separate from your new car purchase? But the thing about the equity assessment is now you know what your car is worth. Now, no one can dictate to you what it's worth. It doesn't slow down your transaction. You just tuck it over here. And now when you find your lowest bidder, that's the person who's going to sell you the new car or the used car or the lease. Now you go and you pick up the new car from them and you go sell the old car to the cash buyer over here. 2 separate transactions, you maximize both of them and you don't put your back against the wall. That's how order in the 7 steps is important. That's why order, sequence of when to do what matters. These little things is what creates an incredible experience of empowerment for you versus you getting to a place and you're like, okay, what do I do next? All right, this didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. They told me to say this. Now you're in the dealership trying to find the person's social media video. What am I supposed to say here? What am I supposed to? All right, no. No. Again, ask everyone you meet, do I have to negotiate with car salesmen for this to work? And if you make that your anchor, you're going to see 99% of people are not going to make it. 99% of the people who are teaching, making videos about car buying, if you start asking them, do I have to be a negotiator? You're trying to train me to negotiate, basically. You're trying to train introverts. You're trying to train people who don't know the true cost of the cars and will never know to go in and pick one dealer and going back and forth with them. That's what you're teaching. If you start asking these questions, the crowd will get very thin of who you're going to listen to. It doesn't work. They've been doing it since 2006. I went to work for Pontiac. I remember going to work for Pontiac. I'm 22 years old, y'all. When I tell you, they were telling us about Kelly's Blue Book. They were literally like, hey, y'all, the consumer is getting smarter. You know, they got online tools. They're going to ask for this. They know this. 2006. And when I tell you, the people who I see on social media teaching you to buy cars are teaching the exact same things. The negotiations, the invoice prices, the don't tell them you have a trade, the don't tell them how much you want to pay a month. All 2006 information repackaged for social media. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Because you can't negotiate with a car salesman that knows the cost of their product, and you don't know if they're an 80% dealer or a 20%. 80% dealer is only, let's look at this. Let's say this is the margins, top to bottom on a car, top to bottom. This is the entire profit margin. This is how an 80% dealer operates. Here's the top price. I won't go below this. 20% I'll get down in here if I'm competing. If I need to earn a deal, I'm going to go down in here if someone makes me. So 80% here. Now, how do I get you as an 80% dealer? How do I get you to pay a price closer to here? I start here. I'm starting here, above the top. So that initial price offer is not going to be based on the top price, because if I make you a price offer and it's based on the top price, there's nowhere else to go but where? Down. And I don't want to be here from an 80%. I want to be right here, up at the top, or here. So what happens? How are dealers getting you and most people like you to pay up here and over here? They start high. $2,000, $3,000 of fake fees made up. So here's my top price, but I need to start with $2,000, $3,000 of fake fees above that. And then I need to throw in your quote, I need to pad your interest rate. So I'm going to assume like a 9% interest rate in my quote to you, which is why we don't get quotes from dealerships. So all of the people who are coming in asking, how much is this car cost? I'm hitting them with a 9% quote, and it's above retail price. And now I'm leaving myself tons of room. And God forbid they tell me they have a trade-in. So now I could tell them your trade-in's worth 16. It's really worth 18. So I'm holding another $2,000 of their trade-in value. I have all of this money to play with. And when I start giving them things, they think I'm doing them a favor. Oh, all right, I gave you $1,500 more for your trade. You're a good guy, Deshaun. Thank you. All right, I brought down the payment another $15. Way to go, Deshaun. Thank you so much. You're working so hard for me. Yep, you got it. All right, perfect. Actually, I just went to the manager. He dropped the price another $50 per month. How's that? Man, way to go. You got me $1,500 more for my trade. Then you took off some of this, and then you dropped it even more for me. Way to go. Not realizing the entire time I was above sticker price. I was working with a padded interest rate, and I was holding back $2,000 on your trade-in. You lost. And unfortunately, this happens every single day. It's perception. Really, really good at what we do, car salesman. So if you don't have someone who has a heart, and a heart is not making you think, it doesn't matter. It's not, hey, I invite Bobby from the dealership over to the barbecues. It's compete. Are you willing to compete? Many of you who've bought 2 and 3 cars from the same dealership, you're going to find out how much they really get mad at you when you start making them compete, because you have been what we call a laydown. That's a person who just comes in, you don't put up much fight, we give you one price, you go back and forth for maybe 10 minutes, and then you're like, okay, I'll take it. So you are, when people see your name come over on an internet lead, and they see, wait a minute, this is Mr. Williams, and they try to get you on the phone, hey, Mr. Williams, hey, it's John over here at the dealership. Hey, we saw your name come in online, but, you know, why don't you just come on in and see Joe? You know how you pop in. You know you can come on in. It's going to mess them up because they're used to you coming on in and nowhere near creating a competition, and they're used to making a lot of money on you. But when they see that you are now not coming in and you're doing everything on your computer from home, you're going to find out these dealers weren't your friends. The same people that you have at your house barbecuing, hey, yeah, that's my car salesman. You're going to find out how they don't want to compete. They're only your car salesman because you walk right in and you end up buying a car from them. All right. Again, all of this is in my digital book. For those who have not gotten started with my free cheat sheets, I'll put my new checklist, free checklist at carsfromhometoolkit.com. You can get rid of my cheat sheets. Throw them away. Not using them anymore. We are not using the cheat sheets anymore. We are now doing the checklist. Checklist. Too many of you got, and that's partially my fault. It's partially my fault. Wait, hold on. Marissa, I see you. I'm going to get to that question. Where do you recommend we get our car loan for the best interest rate? Great question. We'll get to that, Marissa. If I didn't get to your question on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, please type it again. We are live on 4 platforms, and sometimes it takes me a little long to answer a question. I might miss it. So please type your question again if I missed it. But we'll get to Marissa on TikTok shortly. Oh, and then we got Melly Mel's on TikTok. All right. So if you haven't gotten your free checklist, go to my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, click that link, or the Facebook or YouTube comments, click the Cars from Home Toolkit link, go get your free checklist. That's the 90-minute checklist. Everything I'm talking to you about can be done in 90 minutes. This does not take hours and hours and days to do. Again, another thing people are doing is sending you into dealerships to take up a lot of people's time. It's not, I had somebody the other day say to me, Deshaun, we've been using your stuff. They never bought my book, but they did say that they have dealerships competing. I said, how are you doing that? They said, well, we went and we actually, we went and we started using AI. I'm like, but you believe in the process. Why not? I said, let me ask you a question. How long has it taken you to get these offers that you have? They said, well, we started working on this about 2.5 weeks ago. I said, see, that's the difference. Please don't tell anyone you're using my stuff. Because when you're out here telling people we're using Deshaun's stuff, and then you're saying we've been working on a car deal for 2.5 weeks, that's not a reflection on me. Our deals are done in 90 minutes. And because you are trying to figure out what to say and you're asking AI and you don't have my templates and my email scripts, you are feeling your way around. It's taking you long. You're going back and forth with dealerships. Some of them stop emailing you because if I don't hear from you after 2-3 days, I'm gonna if I'm a salesman and I don't hear from you after 1 day, I'm gonna think you're not a serious customer. So the fact that you email or put an inquiry online and then you don't follow up on it for a day or two, that's hurting you. And that's why your deal is taking 2.5 weeks when we can close a deal in 90 minutes. When you use what's in this ebook, or for some of you who are going to come in with Shop with Deshaun, the only people this is not going to work for is if reading is not your learning style. Let's put it like that. So if you go to the Cars from Home toolkit, if you go to that link in my bio, you'll see there's another. So when you see all of these pictures, Deshaun, all these pictures you be sharing, Jeff and Milligan, and I can't see the name on. This is Mary Ellen. Just got her Mazda CX-5, 1.1% lease. Sold her Acura lease and picked up $3,900 selling her lease. If you didn't know you could sell a lease, type me in the comments. Type a question mark. You had no idea selling a lease was possible or that you could potentially make money on it. Type a question mark. Mary Ellen sells her lease for $3,900 and she gets a 1.1% lease on her new Mazda. This is all people you can meet. But where are these people at? They're in Shop with Deshaun. Their learning style is videos. So instead of reading little step-by-step blueprints, they wanted to actually watch bite-sized videos, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, walk me through the process, and then we jump on Zoom calls twice a month. We have one tomorrow, and then we have our private Facebook group. So all of these posts are in our private Facebook group. You can see them. This is what I would be doing if I'm you. I'm going to shopwithdeshaun.com. If this is my learning style, I'm going to shopwithdeshaun.com and I'm going to review this because this is community. This is not just, again, I don't like courses. And I think what happens with courses is you tend to look at it as a Bible or look at it as everything at once. Look at it as I need to have a ton of time. That's not what this is about. I want you doing 90-minute car deals, paying less than everyone else. In order for you to do that, you're using online tools to create competition. We're still going to answer the young lady's question on TikTok about, she asked a question about getting a loan. How do we bring bidding to our loan? Everything is a bid. Remember that. It's a couple things I want to hammer into you. Everything's a bid with Cars from Home. Everyone that we give our business to, they've won a bid. But when you're in Shop with Deshaun, which you have access to for life, so when you see people like Jeff who are on their 5th car, Jeff joined me back in 2022 on his 5th car. I remember he got his first car and one for his parents the first year. Then he got another one. Then I think his parents and his was up again, and he ended up having to get another 2. That's 5 cars. You see Milligan has 3 cars. You see Zafrina has 2 cars. You're going to meet people, Rosalie, 4 cars. You're going to meet enough people that you're going to see, I'm going to use this over and over and over again. That's when you want to go to Shop with Deshaun and you want to go deep, watch it, and just see if that's right for you. It's learning style. Same information. Learning style. I'm a video person. I'm not a reading person. If I was a reading person, I'd have my 7-step ebook and I'd be checking off each step. If I'm a video person, give me Shop with Deshaun. Give me the community so I can ask a bunch of questions to people who already got 2, 3, 4 cars as well as Deshaun. And then I can hop on coaching calls with Deshaun necessary if I need to twice a month. That's how we support these results. These results don't come by accident. They come by fine-tuning a system so that a grandmother can do it, a single mom can do it, a teenager can do it, an introvert can do it, because it doesn't involve talking. It's a process. Why can 15-year-olds run a McDonald's? Because it's processes. You can plug in a McDonald's in New Jersey, in Connecticut, in Dubai. As long as the processes are solid, it's going to work. And that's the way the Cars from Home process is. 7 steps, boom, 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 boom. Let me get to where I need to be, which is my new car paying less than everyone. Now, I want to answer this young lady on TikTok, Marissa. She asks, where do I recommend we go to get the best car loan? Okay. It's a great question. Let me take off this comment, and then we'll come back to you, Tracy Simmons. Got another question. I love this, y'all. Please make sure if I don't get to your question, you meet me here tomorrow at 12:30, because I love the more questions we have, the better the show goes. So I love it. Now let's go. Marissa asked, where do we go to get the best car loan? It's always a bid. Remember this. If they're not bidding, we are begging. Remember that. So every time we want to get a car loan, the answer is who's going to give us the best car loan? Who's going to give us the best rate? And once we get the answer to that question, we can make a determination on who's getting our loan. So one of the things that we have to do to not mess up our transaction is get a pre-approval. Now, I know that this changed quickly, because for years, many of you were thinking, Deshaun, I thought getting a pre-approval was good. Who thought that? Type $ if you thought getting a pre-approval was good. Let us know in the chat. It was at some point. But you know what happens when companies see people who buy cars doing things? When they see you doing things for your best interest, they actually change the process. For example, when we begin to sell our leases in 2021 and make $5, $7, $10, $15,000, they introduced out of nowhere a third-party restriction where some brands would not let you sell your lease to a third-party buyer. Now, we have ways that we got around that. We established that years ago, so that doesn't stop us. But that was one example of the industry adjusting to what the public is doing. Here's another one. The public is now getting pre-approvals before they go car shop. Used to be able to get soft credit pre-approvals pretty easily. They were almost everywhere. You could go in and with a soft credit pre-approval, you could find out around about how much you could borrow and what the interest rate would be. But you know what happened when they started seeing you guys going to get pre-approvals? The soft credit pre-approvals went away. And you only have a few of them out there now. You only want to do a pre-approval for budgeting purposes. You don't need a pre-approval to actually go shop. You only want the pre-approval to know how much can I afford to go shop with. So you can use the average interest rate, which is what we do when we link you to the perfect budget calculator, which is our calculator for budgeting. In less than 30 seconds, it's going to tell you exactly how much you can spend on a car, and you'll have multiple goals below your max. You can't go into a dealership or you can't go into a car transaction with your max in mind. You have to have multiple goals under that max. But in order to come up with that budget, we use the average interest rate, and we go shop for our car, and then after we find the bid for the lowest price, when we find the winner of our car, we go and we get bids for our loan. So if I'm shopping for a used car, I'm budgeting using the average interest rate. I'm going to come up with my goals. We have the calculator that does this for you. It's called the Perfect Budget Calculator. It's one of the tools right inside my ebook. It tells you what you can spend. I go out shopping now. I go to my marketplaces. I find my used car, best title, best service records, accident history, best DNA, great reliability, longevity. Now, I found out it has a great price because I found out what the new price was, and they're offering a huge discount from what the new price was. Again, that's all that matters on a used car. To find out if you're paying a good price, you have to know how much it was when it was new. So now I go through that, I get my car, and now I need my loan. This is when I'm creating a bidding war, because we can now let everyone participate with a hard pull within a 24 to 48 hour period. We can let people participate. The bidding starts, the banks, the credit unions, the dealerships, and the people or the person who's getting my loan is the person who wins the bid. Quick, easy, There's no way to lose. If when I'm shopping for my used car, I'm on the marketplaces and I'm looking at multiple options. If I know how to narrow down correctly based on title, service, accidents, and then I know how to determine how much the new discount is from the original used car price, that is going to handle most of what I need. Then I need to make sure that I can actually afford the car, which goes back to my budget. So it's this stuff is little steps. And the reason why you're in trouble and you're overwhelmed and confused is because you're trying to jam pack all these little tiny steps that are simple to into one, and you don't know, what should I be doing this first or should I be doing this first? This is why you are overwhelmed. So we're live every 12:30, every weekday 12:30, and yeah, I'm not gonna say your username because it has a curse in it, but yep, we're live. Yep, we're live. So the people who get our business, they earn it. It's no other way. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, when I'm getting a car, or if I'm giving somebody a loan, or getting a loan from them, significant business I'm giving them, they earn it. They earn it. You would think that with what I'm telling you, getting bids, with it being a better process, you would think it's harder. You would think it's harder. Because Deshaun is talking about getting bids, and it saves us more money, it should be harder. But it's the opposite. It's so much easier. Is it only one hard inquiry within 24 hours? Corn Pop. So the way it's set up with the credit bureaus, they will allow multiple hard inquiries. This is a great question. We're sitting here discussing the bank bidding war, which is how we choose a loan. Everyone has to compete to earn our business when it comes to anything with cars. Who we're going to buy a car from, we don't trade our car. We're going to sell it to the highest bidder, and we don't get a loan. We're going to accept a loan from the lowest bidder. It's a bid. So when we talk about how we do the bank bidding war, the credit bureaus allow multiple hard inquiries within a short period of time, and they'll weigh it as one inquiry when it comes to our score, because it's viewed as rate shopping. It's viewed as something that financially astute people would do, or financially savvy people would do. So it's not going to be a penalty. It's just when you go out and you let one person run your credit, and then you let another person run your credit, and then time goes by, another person runs your credit. These are the things that will continually lower your score. But I'm not going to take a loan from a bank, credit union, or dealership for $20, $50, or $80,000 without a competition, because the same energy that people put into trying to save money off their car, we put the same energy into saving money on the car, the loan, and making money on our trade-in. The money's everywhere. So because you don't see that there's money in the interest rate, in the trade-in, and the car that you're buying, you're leaving the money on the table, but we bid everything out. The way we make sure all the money stays in our pocket is because banks, credit unions, and dealerships are bidding. And the credit bureaus allow it if you are doing it correctly. If you are doing it correctly in a short period of time, 24, 48-hour window, dealerships, banks, credit unions, everyone's competing, you win. You win. All of this is in my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get it for 75% off. It's normally $97, but because we have a new visitor welcome special, you can get it for 75% off. That's $24 as long as you get to my TikTok bio before the 2 hours is up. My Instagram bio, there's a link there, and then we have a comment for you in the Facebook comments or the YouTube comments. You get there, you won't pay the normal $97. You'll get it for $24. It's worth every penny of $97. You can go to goodreads.com and you can read some of the reviews that people have written about it. It's 5-star rated, and it's the best $97 you would ever spend. But if you get there before 2 hours is up, you get it for $24 instead of $97. Okay, let's go. What is the good thing in leasing a vehicle? All right, let's go. We got a couple. Man, there's still a bunch of questions here on YouTube and Facebook that I didn't get to. All right, listen, everybody, mark your calendars. We already been broadcasting. We're 5 minutes away from 2 hours. Tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern time. Set your calendars. Set your clocks. Be here on time. I will be here on time. I'm going to keep my stuff set up so that I don't have to worry about setting everything up. Let's go. Let's see. So many questions. All right. We got Melly Mel's. We got Serenity on TikTok. And then we got Diane Porter. All right, so let's get to these three back to back. Diane Porter on Facebook. What is your opinion of CarMax? Are there hidden fees with CarMax? What is my opinion of CarMax? They want you to not shop. They just want to sell you based on you being tired of dealerships. The people who don't shop love CarMax, love Carvana. They're selling you based on convenience, not based on price. I want you to picture if you walked into the Dorito factory and you had 100 different flavors of Doritos. A lot of variety. That's how CarMax and Carvana advertise. 50,000 different vehicles for you to choose from. Variety. But if you have all Doritos in the factory and they're all owned by Doritos, then there's no incentive for them to drive down the price, which means you're probably going to pay $5.99 per bag at the Dorito factory. There's no competition. There's only variety. That is how CarMax and Carvana approach the auto industry, variety. But there's no incentive for them to price their cars better than any of the other marketplaces like Auto Trader, Car Gurus, because the people that are buying from them don't care. And whether you knew that or not, you need to know now. If you're buying from CarMax, you're not buying based on price. You're buying based on convenience. And what's unfortunate is you can do the whole deal online using our 7-step system, but you can't do it without a test drive. So when it comes to a used car, we must test drive. So that's why our entire process with a used car can't be online. Has to be 10% in the showroom because that's our last step before we buy our used car is the test drive. But in the case of Carvana or CarMax, they thrive on people who hate the car buying experience so much that they will just go to their website, pick a car, and they don't care that there are other cars that are $3,000 or $5,000 less. They want the convenience. It's ignorance. Because again, you can shop online. If you are using our 7-step process, you can handle 90 to 100%. If you're doing a new car deal or lease, you can handle 100% online. But if you're using our process for used cars, you can only handle about 80, 90% online before you go into the dealership and finish your transaction for your used car. But there's no negotiations there. Because by the time when I went to the dealer to get this Infiniti that I bought 2 years ago or 3 years ago, 2023, I went in there knowing I was getting the car. I wasn't going to negotiate because I already knew online this was the best price car in the market. Great service records, great title history, great accident history, phenomenal discount from the new car price to the price they were asking, which is what we call the true value. So I already knew that. When I went in there, it was to test drive and it was to ask one more question, and then we're sealing the deal. We're not going to negotiate. And that's the key. So many people, oh, Deshaun, well, if they don't do, I'll walk away. So you're going to get in your car, drive an hour to get there, and then test drive it, and then something happens, and oh, you walk away. You wasted your time. I don't waste my time. People who use our stuff, we don't waste our time. We're not going to that dealership until we've done everything online to know I'm taking this car home. And there's, unless I get in it and it just drives so bad and it's like, wait, something's wrong with this car. That would be the only thing that would make me say, all right, hold on, I need to slow this down. But with online tools, by the time you get in your car to go to a dealership to see that used car, you should already know service, title, accidents, best discount from new price. I'm taking this thing home. I'm not going here to negotiate. I already know this is the best price in the market. I'll ask for a little bit off when I get there, but you don't need to give it to me for me to get this car. Very, very key. Very, very key. So that's how I feel about CarMax. CarMax is one competitor when we're buying cars. When we're buying a used car, CarMax is one competitor. That's it. Disney Dog, good to see you. I took your advice, got over $5,000 selling lease when the dealer wasn't giving me anything. Amen. $5,000. Casually helping people make thousands and thousands of dollars. Thank you. When people use the car from home stuff, they find money that they didn't know was there. I'm trained to see all the money. So you would think somebody like Disney Dog coming in saying, wow, I learned one thing from this guy that's going to continually pay me if I return my lease and I don't do an equity assessment. How many leases could I have picked up money on, but I never did an equity assessment? This is why I say you're not overpaying $100 a month because you made a $100 per month mistake. Not doing your equity assessment may cost you $20, $30 a month. Might cost you $2,000, $3,000. Not getting bids off the new car that you're buying might cost you $2,000, $3,000. Not getting bids for your interest rate, your loan, might cost you $1,500 to $2,000. See, it's not that, wow, how did I end up paying so much more than people using Deshaun stuff in this cars from home system are paying? It's because you leave money on the table in every part of your transaction. It's not one big mistake you made and you made this big mistake. It's $100 a month. No, you made 3 small mistakes and each of them are $40 a month. That's how people end up in the situation that they're in. And this is most people. Because unless you can tell me you're bidding out your car transaction, you're bidding out your trade-in, and you're bidding out your interest rate, you are leaving money on the table in 2, if not 3 places every time you get a car. Every single time. So what the cars from home process is about, this 7-step process is about you turning your car transaction into a bid. Everything you do will be a bid now. Every single time you move, you're going to know what to do, where to go. You're not going to be in this hesitancy, and you don't have to talk to dealers. That's the key. If you had to talk to car salesmen, if the success of you using this was based on you talking to car salesmen, we're in trouble because you're not going to remember what to say. Sometimes you're going to forget. Sometimes you're going to say the wrong thing, and then a car salesman is trained to when you say the wrong thing, we hear it. So this could never work teaching you to talk. It only works because there's no talking. This is an online shopping system, and anyone, as long as you can use a computer or a laptop, can do this. Okay? All of this, everything that I'm talking about is out of my new digital book. It's Cars from Home. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Normally $97. If you don't want to remember any of this, you can go grab your copy for $24. That's 75% off for the next 2 hours. As long as you get to my TikTok bio or you get to my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments, click that link and then click the 2-hour special on the book. You'll have it in your inbox by the time this show is over. And that's everything I walk you through, my below market strategies for lease. I'm going to walk you to a below market lease, walk you through a below market new car purchase, below market used car purchase. If you're a high mileage driver, you'll see specific sections that I have specifically for you. You can't give everyone the same plan. Everyone can. If you come up to me and say, Deshaun, walk me to my car, there's things I need to know to be able to determine your specific plan. That's what the book is about. You're going to have a plan for new cars, used cars, leases, bad credit, high mileage driving. All of you have a slightly different plan depending on where your starting point is. But the end result is the same. So go grab your book, 75% off for the next. You only have 2 hours. If you went there already and the timer already began to go down, just be aware that if you wait until the timer goes down, it does go to $97, which is phenomenal. I couldn't price this book with a regular price book because it's a book that's going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars. So I felt it would be a disservice to make this a $14.99 or a $9.99 book. I needed to price it in a way where you realize the seriousness. I had a woman call me the other day and she said, I got your book. I said, okay, so talk to me about it. And she wasn't using it. I said, the book is a checklist. So I said, if you're treating the book like you paid $24 for it. That's what you're treating it like. I said, if you treated that book like you paid $1,000 for it, that book will pay you thousands of dollars back. If you treat this digital book like it's a $1,000 book, even though it's $24, if you get there before the 2 hours, it's $24. If you get there and you miss the 2 hour special, it's $97. But if you treat this like a book you paid $97 for, it's a digital book, not physical. This will be the biggest return you've ever bought on anything. Because again, Marie got $12,000 off her Mercedes. Countless people have saved $4, $5, $6 grand, $8 grand, $10 grand using this. And that's every single transaction. So that's the key. I said, you're treating this like a $24 book. I said, use what you invested in and treat it like a $1,000 book and see if you don't have a car deal in 90 minutes. And it's a step-by-step book. Don't treat this like a Bible. Oh, I'm going to soak up all this information. Deshaun's going to teach me how to be a car salesman. No, I'm not. I'm giving you the steps to the car. That's all we care about. You don't have to be a car salesman. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to learn everything I learned in 20 years being in the car business. No, not to get your car. Nope, just what to do. Step 1, step 2, and step 7, go pick up your car. All right? So go get your copy before it goes back to $97. They hated my questions. I was calm, cool, nothing rushed. Way to go. By the way, I did the sale over the phone. Went into the dealer and was out with a new lease within an hour. Okay, so now you didn't use my stuff. I took your advice, got over 5,000. Listen, I love to see people selling. Look, I love to see people selling their leases. But my system's pretty rigid. So when you see this, again, I spoke to y'all a little earlier on the show about people who said they're using my stuff, but they don't have my script. It's taking them 2.5 weeks. So they got a good price, but it's taking them 2.5 weeks to do something that we could have did in 90 minutes. So the reason why, hold on one second. The reason why I asked concerning, I guess I'm very protective over my stuff. I don't want people saying I'm using Deshaun's stuff, cars from home. I don't want that if you're not really using it. And if you're winning partially because you use some of it, then I'd rather say that. So you got $5,000 selling your lease, but you did a deal over the phone. I don't like that because most people don't want to talk to a salesman over the phone. And if I had to teach thousands of people to go and have conversations with salesmen over the phone, probably 10, 20% are going to do a good job. They might be people who are really good at scripting. Maybe they do sales for a living and they can do, they can have conversations. But most people, that's not going to work for, because the minute that the salesman says something that they weren't expecting, they're going to be thrown off their game. and they're going to need to try to remember, what do I say next? And it's not a pleasant experience. You feel intimidated. You feel like the salesman knows more than you do, and sometimes they do. And so that's why, again, it's about not talking. When you are talking, the more and more I hear you talk, let's say I'm on TikTok and I'm listening to somebody talk to a car salesman. Let's say I'm listening to someone have a conversation by phone with a car salesman. The shorter the conversation, the more I say it can be duplicated. So if you heard me say something, the way I set up test drives, we have a specific way in step 4 we teach to set up test drives so that they're quick, easy, smooth. If you heard me do that, you would be like, I can do that. Why? Because we're not talking to salesmen and the conversations are so short, it's no way to mess up. If you got to listen to me sit there for 30 minutes and talk to a salesman to save money, there is no way in your mind you're saying, I can do this. What you probably would be saying is, can I hire this guy? And that's why I continually say, ask the question to everyone you watch who does car advice, do I have to be a negotiator to do this? Are you teaching me to negotiate with car salesmen? Once they say yes, put them over here in this category. It's not that they're bad. In my mind, they're ineffective because I know as an ex-car salesman, there's no one who can be trained to come negotiate with me. You can only negotiate me against my competitors. Then you are winning. But if you put them over here, then you'll start to distinguish old 20-year-old advice that you can go find Kelly's Blue Book and Edmunds.com blogs on from 2008, teaching you the same stuff versus stepping over here and, wait, I don't have to talk to dealers? No, you don't. And I can save all the money? Absolutely. In fact, that's the only way you're going to save all the money. Okay, so I can't mess it up. Many of you don't have faith in what you are watching influencers do because you know, in order for me to do that, I got to be him or her. I got to know what she knows. But when you open this digital book and you see these scripts, when you get to step 5 and you're like, wait a minute, I got these scripts. How do I have grandmothers killing it? How are grandmothers showing up to dealerships killing it? It's because they're not talking. It's because they're not talking. Look at somebody like Trey. 4th car he's gotten with the Cars from Home process. 4th car. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can see this. My 4th car in 7 days. In the midst of traveling 6 of those days, I was able to sell my lease, which was ending in 2 weeks. I returned home on the evening. Day 7, got up, cleaned my 2023 Genesis. Payoff was $29,570. Drove an hour to the dealership who made the highest offer. This was a Car Guru's bid. And he picked up $34,000. So he actually got $4,780 selling his old lease. And he got a new lease for $409 a month on a $37,685 car, which is a 1.08% lease. What's impressive to me, because big money, I love getting impressed by the big money, the 1% lease. I love it. That's incredible value. $409 a month for almost $40,000 car. You add up all those payments, incredible value over 3 years. Selling your lease, $4,780. I love that. Very, very impressed. But the thing I'm most impressed with this post about from Trey is he was traveling. He was traveling 6 of the 7 days and got all of this done, minutes per day, using our process. 4th time. So this does not require a bunch of time. This is not one of those things that requires, oh, I need time. Oh, I'm going to need to break out my whole weekend. Nope. Very, very different when you start making people bid. It is a different way of doing things. That's why they're back 4 times. If I can't show you, if you tell me, Deshaun, I've been hearing you talk about Cars from Home since 2021 or 2022. I know people need cars regularly. If you can't show me repeat people, then that means what you're talking to us and walking us through is good, not great. And it might not even be good. But when we continually see Jeff with his 5th car, Zafrina with her 2nd, when we see Rosalie with 4, when we see Trey busy with 4 cars, that means they're transformed. They're me. I'm never going into a car dealership to save money. They're me. That's the key, because I didn't build something that required, I'm going to leave my best stuff out so that y'all can hire me or something weird. Now, mind you, we got tons of people who just want us to do it for them. We do have we have a team. So for those of you who are like Deshaun, I heard you are doing it for people. We have a team that shops because that's the way we service the market. So if you go to carsfromhome.com or carsfromhometoolkit.com, you will see, I'll put the link up here on the show again. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'll put this up for those who are like, hey, Deshaun, I have good credit. I'm shopping for a new car or lease, and I don't have negative equity. Can you guys do it for me? Those are the qualifications for us shopping for you. So I'll put that here on the screen. That's also in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio. Click that picture of me, and then click that website link. It'll take you to the Cars from Home Toolkit, and you'll be able to see all of the help and free resources, whether it's the free checklist you want to start with or whether you want to start with our digital book, 7 Steps. You want to get right to it. You want to jump right into it, into empowerment. Get your 7-step book, 75% off for 2 hours. If this isn't your learning style and you're like, Deshaun, I love this process. It sounds like something that is going to guarantee me a victory, which it is, but I don't read. Then you're going to go to shopwithdeshaun.com. You can go to the Cars from Home Toolkit, and that's also in my bio. Go to Cars from Home Toolkit.com. And that's when you go to Cars from Home Toolkit, you'll see that we have something there called Shop with Deshaun. That's me taking everything in this book and actually doing it on screen and you watching me do it as I shop for cars. And we meet in our Facebook group. You can meet tons of people like Jeff and Milligan and Rosalie, Trey, all of the people who've come before you. But this is now bite-sized videos. So 3-minute videos, 5 minutes of boom, 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 boom. Same thing in here, but you have coaching, you have support. If you need to, we have a Zoom call tomorrow, first and third Wednesday. You can bring your questions, get them answered directly from me. So that's the difference. It's all about what's right for you. Torres. Send me the details of your last car deal. Don't play, Torres. Don't play. I'll talk. Listen, I'll ask you to send me. If you don't DM me your last car deal, then you don't deserve to talk. Okay? I don't play games when it comes to cars. Praise the Lord. I do not play games when it comes to cars, brother. Like this is something that I will put any of my people up against anyone in this world. I don't sell cars, Torres. So everyone on here knows that you're trolling because I don't even sell cars, brother. So if you want to see, I'll be trying to hold back, but you got to understand something. I know that if I looked at your last car deal, you should not be joking. You shouldn't be joking. Because, hey, if I looked at your last car deal and I'm like, all right, listen, Torres deserves to joke, y'all. This guy's out here killing it. You get what I'm saying? If I looked at it and I'm like, wait, how many offers you got? Oh, man, I got 5 offers. Oh, did you bid out your interest rate? Yep, bid it out. Banks, credit union, dealership. And you bid out your trade-in? Yep. How much time did it take you? Less than 2 hours. Did it all from home. Oh, Torres deserves to talk. Torres deserves to be joking, but you leaving thousands of dollars on the table? Mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Hey, Bill, I just repurchased the book. I received a link account, but no update or download link. So as soon as just go to your spam. You didn't have to repurchase, but go to your spam, and you'll see that the minute that you and let me put the support email up here. Support. The minute that you once you buy the book, it gets emailed to you. That and the bank bidding war PDF. So just go check the spam and confirm that you got it. Bill, let me know, please. All right. Deshaun's methods are legit. Really helped educate me. Thank you, GP. It's look methods. Look, I'm not a genius. I love this car stuff, but what I invented was just a better system of online shopping. It's as a car salesman, I know the websites that get to us. I know the websites we use, and I know what we need in order to give you an offer. I also know where people are making mistakes financially concerning leasing, concerning purchasing, concerning taking loans that are too long, not knowing how to budget. So putting this together, it wasn't difficult for me because I've been in the industry. If you had been in the industry and taken it seriously, you could have done this as well. But now, what's the reason why many people are still stuck when it comes to their car purchase? It's because of programming. It's because you have a knee-jerk reaction. When you need a car, you do this. And what you need to do is unlearn that. That you don't do that anymore with a television. There was a point in time where if we needed a television, we would go to the local store. You don't do that now, right? You need a television, you go online. That's where your reaction has to be at from now on. It has to be, I need a car. Online is where 90% of what I'm going to do gets done, and the rest is in the dealership. But my knee-jerk reaction isn't going to the dealership. And until that has to be unlearned. Dealers love that you do that. NADA tells us that average person is only going to shop 2 dealers. That means you only got to beat one other dealership to win this person's business. That's statistics. So that's what's working against you all, is the fact that they have statistics of how you are going to shop. And the statistics tell us that this customer, if they walk in and they're getting a number from you, you only need to beat one other dealership. They don't have any particular way they're going to shop. They're going to maybe go up the road, or they're going to call the dealership up the road and say, hey, this is what I got from ABC dealer. You are DEF dealer. What's your price? And after that, they're going to wrap it up. Maybe they may call one other dealership before they're like, okay, this is hard. This is tired. This ain't nothing, I'm not going to get anything doing this. And then they end up stopping. And especially if the first dealer the other dealer says, I don't have that car. I appreciate you calling. I don't have the color you want. Then they call another dealer. Okay, I have the color. This is terrible, time consuming, disempowering. Again, you have to talk, and you're talking to people that are trained to talk. So you're calling car salesmen who are trained, and you're trying to finagle how to get a price from them over the phone or really quickly, and they know you don't know what you're doing. Versus using templates and scripts. Fill in the blank, send. Deshaun said, go on this website, type this in. I'm on the website, typing it in, done. Let me move to the next thing. Can't mess it up. As long as you can use a computer, because I'll tell people in a heartbeat, if you don't know how to use a computer, you don't know how to send emails, you don't know how to copy and paste, this is not for you. I'm sorry, it's not for you. Maybe you can get a family member or somebody to do it for you, but it's an online system. That's another reason it's not a physical book. One, there's links in there. There's links to videos. There's links to scripts, things you got to copy and paste. It can never be a physical book because you can't. How are we going to do these links? Secondly, why would we want a physical book that teaches us an online process? So if somebody's asking for a physical book, I usually know that this book may not be right for them because you're a physical person. Do you use computers? Because if you use computers and you like, okay, now that doesn't mean if it's your preference, but oh no, it's my preference, Deshaun, but I could do the ebook. That's different. Because it's an online system, everything we're doing is online. But there's certain benefits to us having a digital book that we couldn't have if it was a physical book. The links, the links to the templates, the links to the scripts, the links to certain videos that I'm going to have you watch, little 3-minute, 4-minute videos. We couldn't do that in a physical book. And then also when we need to update the process, what does that look like? One of our websites that we shop on, it goes out of business. Do we have to throw the whole book away? Or now I'm sending you an email saying, hey guys, bad news. This website went out of business. I had to put out another version of my book, but you can buy that and it has the latest. Would make sense. Or, you might be like, all right, I'll get the new book, but, every time something's updated, we got to get another book. Versus digital book, we update the master file. Doesn't matter what happens, the book stays updated. All right, so go grab your copy. It's 75% off for the next 2 hours. Normally $97, but you can get yours for $24 as long as you get to my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the YouTube comments, or the Facebook comments before the 2 hours is up. You'll get yours for 75% off, which is $24. And make sure you save the support team's email just in case your book's not there in less than 10 minutes. Email support, and they'll get you your book right away. But you'll have everything necessary from that point on. All right, if I lease a car for only a year, is it less money than leasing for 3 years? So we don't typically see 1-year leases. We typically don't see 2-year leases. We typically see 3-year leases, and sometimes they will run a 2-year special. But every time we reach out using our templates, we're requesting a 3-year lease because that's usually the best programs. If by chance they have a good 2-year program, they'll tell you about it. So when I was in the dealership, let's say I'm selling a car, Mercedes E-Class. Somebody emails me and they say, hey, I want a 3-year lease. If I know it's a really good 2-year lease, I'll tell them about it because it's not common. So that's the reason why we manually let the salesman tell us when there is a 2-year lease. But other than that, there's going to be no 1-year leases, and you don't want to go for any leases 3.5 years or longer. 42 months, you don't really want to go with. You definitely don't want 4 years, but I really like to stay away from even 3.5 years. You're defeating some of the purpose of leasing, which is getting in and out. Most times you're under warranty the entire time. Many cars have a 3-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. So if you take a 3.5-year lease, that last 6 months, you're going to be out of bumper-to-bumper warranty coverage. So 3 years or 39 months is going to be the most common. That's also what all our templates are based off of. Okay? Again, get your copy in my bio. 75% off for the next 2 hours. This is all stuff you don't have to think about. If it's not in there, don't do it. People will go and be on websites and be like, Deshaun, I'm looking at the lease offers or I'm looking at the specials on this car. When did I say do that? And again, I'm just saying if you want my process. See, I don't want your process. I just want your goals. If you are coming over and saying, Deshaun, I hate car shopping, I've been hearing you talk, and I want to try this process you have invented, then you need to give it you need to realize it's oil and water. My process doesn't mix with any old process. We're live every weekday, 12:30. Make sure you set your alarms, 12:30 Eastern time. We'll be live. Bring your questions. I love when there's lots of questions. That's how we've been able to do a 2-hour, 2.5-hour show today. We got lots of questions today. So think about this. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So, all right, yeah, I think I was wrapping up with the lease terms. I think I finished that. Question. All right. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you. The T-Ron Studio. Hey, we spoke briefly before. I'm just getting over a 5-year lease. Yes, bad deal. I know. Now I'm going to be looking for a new deal in the next month. Okay, let's do it right. Sometimes people don't get enough being abused. You know, I'm not going to make a bad deal and make another one. Um, it's just too many areas for you to make a mistake in. And if people realize that they're trying to go through a $50,000 to $100,000 process and they're trying to do it mistake free, but they're winging it, they have no process. They don't know what this step is, what step they're on. They don't know what they should do next. You're not getting out of there mistake free. It's just too many ways that you can make a mistake. You can make a mistake with your loan. You can make a mistake getting the car. You don't know what the lease deal is. You don't know what rebates there are. There's too many areas for you to make a mistake for you to think you're going to somehow get more money off than everyone has gotten, and especially coming off the back of a 5-year lease deal. So the amount of money you overpaid, and again, you understand that, it's just, for me, what are you going to do different this time? Because if that pushes you to make sure every transaction from now on you're using the 7-step process so that you are getting all the thousands. If I overspent by 5 to 10 grand, if I got a 5-year lease, I'm relentless about making sure that no one ever gets over on me again. And in order for me to do that, that doesn't happen just by me wanting it to happen. That doesn't happen by me saying, I'm not going to let this happen again. I'm going to ask more questions. It comes from having a process where I can't make a mistake. It comes from having a process where everyone is bidding. And then it comes from knowing what lease is too long. There's certain guidelines we have that you're going to see. Man, these should have been my guidelines. But again, I never get mad at anyone who says, I wish I would have found you before my last car. Where I get upset, or not even upset, it's a disappointment, is the people who don't get enough being abused. So they'll make one bad car deal, and then they'll try to do another good car deal, not realizing they don't know how to do a good car deal. And then they're not giving legitimate processes the stage. If you're giving legitimate processes a stage, then you should be looking at how to make sure you never get ripped off again. So I'm evaluating everybody out here who's trying to help me get a car. I'm evaluating Deshaun. I'm evaluating this girl, this woman, this man. I'm evaluating everyone. And when I ask you to just ask, do I have to negotiate for this to work? If you start to screen advice, all of these people want to talk about cars. All of a sudden, there's 50 to 100 people online that want to talk about how to buy a car. So how do we start to filter some of these people out? Ask, do I have to negotiate for this to work? Many times that will kill 90%. I don't know of anyone who's teaching you to flip and make dealers negotiate against each other and bid. And that's where you should be holding you should be holding yourself. And again, I can't make you not get ripped off again. That has to be something in you. I just know it wouldn't be me. Not a second time. Not a second time. So I'm very interested in what you're going to do differently. We have our free checklist. We have our 7-step book for you to make sure that you get all the money you should be getting off. You should be saving your 5, 10 grand, whatever you're saving, getting bids for your trade-in. We have Shop with Deshaun. If reading is not your learning style and you want to join people like Trey, and you want to join people like Melissa here, you want to join people like Jeff Milligan, you want to join Mary Ellen, they're all here. Val, Glenn. You can join all these people and Shop with Deshaun if videos is your style. Get me to my car in little bite-sized videos, Deshaun. Go into the Cars from Home Toolkit. I put the link up here for you. Go into the Cars from Home Toolkit. Link is in my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. And you can go through the 7-step process to get your car in 90 minutes. Or you can, if you qualify, you can book a call with our team and you can have us do it for you. New cars, leases only, good credit, no negative equity unless you can pay cash for the difference, unless you can cover the negative equity. But in any case, just don't make the same decisions. Just don't make the same decisions. All right. So we're back tomorrow, 12:30. And I guess I'll wrap with just saying that if they're not bidding, you're begging. And I don't think you've seen it as begging for your car, but that's what you're doing. You're begging. Can you take off $100 more a month? Can you take off $50? Can you take off $500? Can you give me more for my trade-in? The reason why I think the advice that most people give about cars is horrible is because it's based on talking, and it's very old. It's very old. Most of the social media videos I see, I can find those same tactics in 2005 Kelley Blue Book articles. Same exact tactics. And here we are 20 plus years later. So everyone has packaged old advice into videos that's predicated on you memorizing scripts and negotiating with car salesmen. And that's why you continually have horrible experiences. And even when you get out of there and you have used some of what you learned, you still dread the next time you got to go shop for a car. Versus creating competition through the Cars from Home system, 7 steps, all online, except test drives. And now you're the prize, and you're watching people compete for your business. You're watching banks, credit unions compete for your business. Used cars, you're able to see the whole market, 100, 150, 200 miles out, screen down, and you empower yourself to shop confidently, and there's no one breathing down your neck. It's no negotiation necessary because you're creating a bid. If you were to have people come into your house and they were doing your kitchen over, if you tried to negotiate with them, you're going to negotiate badly because you don't know where the bottom is. But if you have all of them start to negotiate with each other, you're going to get the best price very quickly. It's called one to many. So that's the difference. I don't consider myself a genius in this regard. We didn't create rocket ships, but being in an industry for 20 years, I was able to see where the websites are, see the mistakes you're making, and know that the only reason you're not getting car deals done in 90 minutes, saving more money than everyone, is because you don't know what websites to go on and you don't know what scripts to say. You don't know what to type, what to email. It's not because you haven't memorized something. It's not because you need to learn these scripts. Sometimes people will get my book and be like, Deshaun, where are the scripts at? They're ready to start memorizing scripts. No, you don't get to scripts until you're online about to email somebody. Then you need to get to scripts, and the scripts will be there. But until then, you don't need scripts. We're not in the memory business. We're not in the, hey, y'all, get ready to read this book and memorize everything. From the time you open up this digital book, you should be looking at step 1, completing step 1, checking it off the list, moving to step 2, checking it off the list, and by the time you get to step 7, you're picking up your new car, or they're delivering it. Okay? So go grab your copy. It's 75% off for the next 2 hours in my TikTok bio, the Instagram bio, my Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. Normally $97. You get it as an instant download for $24. Now, I love the fact we got a lot of questions today. This was our first day back live in a while, but we will be live Monday through Friday, weekdays at 12:30. Meet us here. We will rebroadcast the show throughout the week. So whenever if you happen to just jump on and you're like, okay, Deshaun, I missed most of the show, You can, if you got your book, you don't even need the show anymore. But if you say, hey, I want to catch the rest of the show, you will see us rebroadcast it later. So we'll rebroadcast throughout the day. But when are we actually live? Weekdays 12:30. Weekdays 12:30. Meet us here. Bring your questions. I love when we have lots of questions. It makes the show move a whole lot quicker. We've been live for almost 3 hours. Doesn't even feel like it. So shout out to the people who got your books. Use them. Shout out to the people who are coming into Deshaun, Shop with Deshaun, if that's your learning style. Shout out to the people who booked a call with me and our team. You want us to do it for you if you qualify. And if you are just like, hey, can I start with something free? Where do I start? Free, Deshaun. I don't know you yet. I want to kind of start with our free checklist. You can go to Cars from Home checklist. You can go to the Cars from Home toolkit, open up your checklist, and you'll start to see this. This is the framework you follow to do a deal in 90 minutes. Just the fact that you can see the steps to do a deal in 90 minutes. If you'll see that all you're going to be doing is checking off these steps, and then you got your car deal, you pay less than everyone else in 90 minutes. Start with the checklist. Get your free checklist. Now, here's the key. The checklist has all the things you're going to check off to get to your deal. The checklist alone will let you know it's possible. Most people have no idea that you can do a car deal in 90 minutes and save more money than everyone. People know me for saving the money. The people who use our stuff, they save the money. But I don't think the reason why I wanted to go deep on Trey's fourth car that he got was because how busy he was in getting this deal done. Because he said I was traveling 6 of the 7 days and I was able to get my car deal done, sell my lease for $4,000 plus, pick that up, and then get a 1% lease on my new car while traveling. That emphasizes money and time. Whenever you come here, I want you saying money and time are important to me. Deshaun, I don't need you to help me save $8,000 if it's going to take me 3 weeks. I want to save $8,000 in 90 minutes. That's what we do. So go grab your book, open the Cars from Home toolkit in my bio or the comment section. You'll see tons of free resources, the checklist, or go grab your book for 75% off, or you can enroll with Shop with Deshaun and we can coach together. We have a coaching call tomorrow, first and third Wednesday, and you can go into the members area. But certainly, please, tomorrow when we're back, bring more questions. If you just jumped on and you're like, Deshaun, I missed the whole show. I'm sorry you missed the show, but we're back live and we will be live weekdays at 12:30. Bring your questions tomorrow. Who's coming tomorrow? Type me in the comments if I'll see you tomorrow. 12:30 Eastern time. Who will I see? We've been live almost 3 hours. We could go a little bit more, but we'll save it for tomorrow. You're coming tomorrow. I look forward to it. And we had a great audience today. Wonderful. Sorry to those questions I couldn't get to. I'll see you tomorrow, Tamiko. Yep. Sorry those questions I couldn't get to. 12:30 tomorrow, we'll be back. More questions. Everybody who got the book, use it. Use what you invested in. Do not get that book without treating it like it costs $1,000. If you treat this book like it costs $1,000, this will be the most valuable book your family ever bought. Use it immediately. Treat it like you spent a ton of money on it, and it's going to pay you every single time you do a car deal over and over and over again. All right? So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. Keep unlearning. Wonderful, Tamiko. I'm glad to hear that. All right, we're back tomorrow, everybody. See you then.